Welcome to Fox Field. Getting set for a fun matchup this afternoon. TJ Winger alongside Tim LaDuca as the Hornets play hosts to the Tufts Jumbos. Lynchburg looking to stay undefeated at home. Tufts looking to stay undefeated, simply put. Tim, thanks for joining me. Wes Arrington gets the start for Lynchburg. Surrenders a leadoff single to the leadoff man and shortstop Ozzie Fleischer. And quickly, we are underway.
Yeah, Wesley Arrington getting the start on the bump. Thanks for having me, first of all, TJ, but Wesley Arrington's the junior from Keswick. He got a little action in the middle of the week when Lynchburg was able to come back against Randolph-Macon. Let up 3 runs in that outing, though, but a Friday non-conference game right before a Saturday doubleheader against a conference opponent kind of shakes things up from the rotation, so I wouldn't be surprised if we're seeing a little bit of a Tampa Bay Rays starter opener situation.
I think you may be right on with that assumption as Jimmy Evans is at the plate, hitting from the left side. And talking about Tufts, 9-0 start to the year. And today becomes game number 10 in 11 days. And Evans follows up the single from Fleischer with a single of his own. And the Jumbos knocking on the scoring door here early on.
Yeah, they played a tight one against Washington and Lee yesterday. Went to the 10th inning, extra inning. So not only are they playing a lot of games in a lot of days, they're getting a couple extra innings in there as well. So this team, while they may be tired, it looks like they're just carrying momentum from those first 9 games.
And it could be one of two things where, yeah, you're either fatigued or it's like a shooter in basketball. Hey, I'm feeling good right now. Keep giving me the rock. And, hey, Tufts coming in today with a team average at .332, averaging more than 10 runs a game. Say they're swinging it well.
Yeah, rust versus rust arguments kind of, whichever one shows to be true that day, that's the one I support. Makes me look smarter.
Batting 1,000 with that argument. Miles Reed takes this pitch off the outside corner. The numbers for Arrington on the season. This becomes his second start, third appearance. He's tossed 5 1/3 so far this year, 5 strikeouts, 2 walks. ERA at 6.75, and opponents are hitting .350 against.
It's good to see Wes out there. He's battled injury right before the season started. He's a good kid. He comes into work in the sports information office with myself and Mark Robertson. He does some good work for us. He also does some good work on the mound, but it's good to see that he's back and healthy in his 3rd action of the year today.
Battery made today for Arrington is Riley O'Donovan. Sets up on the outside corner. Pitch just misses off the outer edge. The rest of the infield for Lynchburg from left to right. Garrett Jackson starting at the hot corner with Gavin Collins playing at short. P.J. Alvanos gets the nod at second. And Josh Jorman starting over at first. In the outfield from right to left is Cam Lane in right field. Carson Atkins starts in center with Avery Neves in left. Sent to Jackson at third. He'll take it to third base himself. The throw across the infield, not in time. 5 unassisted, takes Fleischer off the base paths. Evans moves up to second, Reed aboard at first.
Ball always finds you, TJ. Garrett Jackson playing in a position he is familiar with in his career, but hasn't played too many innings over there at the hot corner. Usually is the stalwart at first base for Lynchburg. But he's tested early here, and he makes a good play. Almost turned 2.
The Lynchburg team that ranks 5th in the ODAC at fielding percentage, 95.6%. 2 on, 1 down. Peter DiMaria, the first baseman, takes the first pitch on the outside corner, and it's a called strike 1.
Peter DiMaria from Chatham, New Jersey. His favorite professional athlete, J.J. Watt. Close to your favorite professional athlete, right, TJ?
And who's that?
TJ Watt. Am I right?
He's got a great first name, if you ask me. Slow roller to short. Collins has nowhere to go with it. Infield single loads the bases. 3rd hit of the inning already for the Tufts offense. Talked about the Jumbos were rolling. Let's a stampede to start today.
Nicely done. But, how about that? Testing not only the third baseman in Garrett Jackson, but Gavin Collins, who used to be the third baseman at the beginning of the season, now shifts over to shortstop, taking over for Ryan Long. A couple of shortstops, a couple of sophomores there, filling the gap between second and third. This is a big at-bat here for Wesley Arrington, though.
Kyle Cortez down in the count to start 0-1. How about a 400 average coming into today's contest? 9th start of the season for Cortez. And the second baseman can open our scoring here in the top half of the first.
Yeah, really just right at you here from Tufts. Thanks for coming out, and then we're going to load the bases on you here in the top of the first. I hope you're awake, everybody.
And we talked about the start to the season for Tufts. Lynchburg 15-3, first in the ODAC, picked to win the conference, and a perfect 5-0 inside conference action, and a perfect 12-0 when playing at home. And there's certainly an advantage to playing on your own field, but Lynchburg has epitomized that this year. Pass ball, play at the plate, not in time. Jumbo strike first and lead 1-0. Here we go, Tim. We'll ask you. You're normally the man assessed with deciding pass ball wild pitch. What'd you see there?
Yeah, that one wasn't in the dirt. Didn't look like a cross up to me. It looks like the fastball just above O'Donovan. Just kind of got away from him there. And how about that? 3 hits to load the bases, and they bring a run in without even swinging the bat.
And still Cortez at the plate. Fouls this one off. Count to 1-2. So Lynchburg team, if they do go staff focused for today, it's a good staff. 3.43 ERA, that leads the way in the ODAC. And talking to a couple coaches beforehand, it's all arms available. If your name's not Jack Batchmore, Zach Potts, or Nick Matfield, be ready to jump in if you need it.
That's exactly the case. Director of Baseball Analytics, Brady Moore, told me the same thing before the game, so hope you're ready to see some pitching changes. And it's not like the MLB where you have to have a 3-batter minimum. We've seen Travis Beasley go to the bullpen very often. He's the associate head coach and pitching coach for these Hornets, and he'll bring a lefty out there for 1 batter and on to the next one. Do your job and next man up.
1-2, nicked into the glove and held on by O'Donovan. A huge strikeout for out number 2. First punch out of the day for Arrington, his 6th on the season. And with 2 on and 2 away, preseason All-American Clay Sowell, the DH, comes to the plate. Make that Sowell.
Yeah, he had 404 last year in just 15 games for the Jumbos with a triple, 7 doubles, 6 homers in 15 games. How about that, TJ? This guy's got some serious pop. And he's looking at some ducks on the pond right there, or should I say elephants on the pond.
It's a big pond. Brandon Pond, size pond.
Yeah, there you go.
Jokes aside, Sowell at the plate, 4th team All-American last year per D3Baseball.com, and nearly had a couple of ribbies here. This one just rolls foul at the third base line.
But you're knocking at the door of a pretty feeling good about yourself if you're Wesley Arrington. You got a big strikeout there, and I like the faith that he had in his catcher O'Donovan to still go to the breaking ball after the pass ball. It shows the confidence in the sophomore receiver there. And now he's 1 strike away from escaping the inning just about unscathed.
0-2, left up above the letters. Count now to a ball and 2 strikes.
That's one of those borderline pitches there, and we'll see if that's where the home plate umpire is going to be drawing the line all day. That just had to be just outside of the zone from my view here, right behind the plate.
Arrington comes set. 1-2, waved at and missed. Pair of strikeouts to bring a close to the first inning of action for Wes Arrington, but a run put on the board by the Jumbos. Pass ball makes it 1-0 Tufts out in front of Lynchburg. We'll step aside and come back with the home half of the first and get our first look at the Lynchburg offense.
The biggest thing that I've taken from Westover is probably my interactions with faculty. I started working with Dr. Fryer. He's always available for help, and he makes sure that I get to do the experiments and not just be there while he does them. I didn't want to limit myself when I came here to just taking the prereqs for med school. I wanted to get a full, well-rounded education, and I definitely found that in the Westover program. It's given me the opportunity to keep playing soccer at a competitive level, but also it's given me the ability to be a student and to pursue other activities such as EMS. 100% do Westover because it's not something they're going to regret, and it's going to be a lot of work, but so is everything else. It's just going to help build their education that they've already had and make them a better person for it.
Bottom half of the first inning, Jumbos out in front of the number 4 team in the country, the Lynchburg Hornets, 1-0. Home half of the first inning sends Cam Lane, Logan Webster, Garrett Jackson to the plate. And if any were to reach, we'll see the cleanup man and left fielder Avery Neves to the dish for Lynchburg. And they'll go toe-to-toe with Cameron Meyer. Right-handed arm. Takes the bump, stands at 6'4". Today becomes his second appearance on the season and his second start.
Meyer from Syosset, Long Island. I know a few people from Long Island. I'm a New York native myself. But this jumbo roster's from all over the country. Hey, I should say all over the world, actually. As Jack Chapaleski's from Dubai.
That is a long way away from Massachusetts.
And Long Island, for that matter.
And Long Island for that. That's exactly right. 2-0 count to Cam Lane. Leadoff man. Been one of the hottest bats in the Lynchburg lineup this season. You go back to a doubleheader last Saturday against Washington and lay about 6 for 8, combining the twin bill with 5 RBIs to go with it.
And he's reached base in every game so far. He's got a hit streak dating back to 12 games from now. Yeah, how about that? He's got a longer hit streak than the Jumbos have a winning streak. Something to rest your laurels on if you're Cam Lane.
And all that mounts into a .375 average this year for Lane, who Meyer attacks the inside corner against and gets a swing and miss, strike 3 to start his afternoon.
Now to bat, number 6, Logan Webster.
Yeah. So here's Logan Webster, TJ, and he's, how about this for a story so far in the beginning part of the season here? A freshman coming into the lineup, takes over the DH role after Cam Lane moves to right field to take care of Jackson Harding, who went down with injury. But, you know, you lose Jackson Harding, he was swinging a real hot bat. And Logan Webster comes in, and he looks like a 3-year veteran, much less a freshman. But he's batting .280 on the year, and he had a big plate appearance in that comeback win against Randolph-Macon. He got hit by a pitch, drove in a run.
And Webster down in the count 0-2, but you look at modern baseball, and that 2 spot is really where coaches are trying to put their best bat in their eyes. How can we maximize runners in front of them, but also at-bats? And Webster just inserted into that 2 spot in the lineup, showcased a lot of confidence Coach Jones, Coach Garcia, and company have in him.
Yeah, they've done a good job of bringing in some good young talent. You know, you got Gavin Collins, who won Freshman of the Year last season. Ryan Long plays a good shortstop. There's some other underclassmen throughout this lineup. How about the sophomore Nick Matfield?
Mm-hmm.
But now it's 2 early strikeouts here for Mayer, and he's fanning him early.
Well, and that was the case for Meyer in his first start. 9-0 win at the apprentice school. 10 strikeouts through 8 innings. No walks given up in that start. I'd say that's a strong way to start your season.
Are we looking at the wrong website, TJ? Has this team really played 10 games in 11 days? They do not look like it right now.
The MLB's type of schedule seemingly working to their strength.
Yeah.
Like we said in the open, when you're hot, you're hot. 0-1, breaking ball, sent out of play, first base side. Give you the defensive alignment for the Jumbos. The catcher today for Meyer is Connor Bowman. The infield from right to left sees Peter DiMaria at first, Kyle Cortez at second, Ozzy Fleischer at short, Connor Podeswa at the hot corner. In the outfield from left to right has Jackson Duffy in left, Miles Reed in center, and Jimmy Evans getting the nod in right. Jackson sends this one out towards right field. Tracking back, Evans will make the grab, and change of mind. In and out of the glove. Jackson up standing at second.
Yeah, that's not a routine play for you there up on the warning track. We're going to give Garrett Jackson a double there, and the 3-hole hitter from Virginia Beach, he's been swinging a hot bat as well. He's a great guy to have right in the heart of your lineup.
So it goes down as the first hit of the day for Lynchburg. We will see more of the first inning. And that brings the cleanup man Neves to the dish.
Man, do you just get butterflies when Avery Neves comes to the bat? Man, this guy almost single-handedly won the game for Lynchburg against Randolph-Macon earlier in the week. 2-run homer in the 8th. Bases clearing, double in the 9th to win the game. And he's special.
5 RBIs in a game is a special game. 5 RBIs in 2 innings is unbelievable.
And then just to add the pressure to that, too, you know. The game's on the line. But it just goes to show that this Lynchburg lineup's never out of a game, even if you're down 7-0 after 7 frames.
Neves down in the count 0-2, and I think the thing that stands out the most is he processes so quickly. And that last at-bat in the ninth, he had his timing down against a reliever who had tossed to 2 other guys ahead of him, and he had the timing down, was sitting on a breaking ball, and gave it a ride out to left center field for the game-winning hit. And Lynchburg taking down Randolph-Macon in a huge battle earlier this week. The Yellow Jackets, a team receiving votes to get in the top 25, and it was the day Lynchburg moved up to a new program best at number 4 in the country. And the Hornets put the icing on the cake, walk-off victory against their rival.
We've mentioned Major League Baseball a few times here, but we all know about the 3 true outcomes, home runs, strikeouts, walks, and I still love the 2-strike approach here from Avery Neves. His 2 hits in that game against Randolph-Macon came on a 1-2 count. So he's still going up there looking to do damage with 1-2. And he's not afraid when he's facing strike 3. And he's worked the count back into his favor here.
Yeah. Even up that 2-2. And Neves, everything we talk about, patient approach, 393 average, up to 8 extra base hits this year. That's 4 doubles, a triple, and 3 home runs. 2-2, just off the outside corner. Meyer thought he had strike 3. Instead, we'll see a 3-2 pitch.
3-2 count is somewhere Avery Neves has found himself a lot. He's walked 18 times on the year, and he just gets on base at over half the time. Oh, there it is again.
And Neves following Jackson with a walk, and we will see more to the bottom of the first. P.J. Alvanos, another dangerous bat in this Lynchburg order, stepping to the left-handed batter's box.
Privileged position for P.J. Alvanos to be in, hitting behind batters like Cameron Lane, Logan Webster, Garrett Jackson, and Neves. And he's taken advantage of it so far. He leads the team with 21 RBI.
First pitch to Alvanos. Misses downstairs. And you have to think there's something to it for the guys ahead of Alvanos, too, knowing that, I could pitch to Neves or I could put him on, and knowing I have to go ahead and go toe-to-toe with Alvanos on deck. Goes both ways.
And, you get even deeper after that because you have the sophomore Gavin Collins batting 6th now. And he was at one point the 3-hitter in this lineup. And like we said, the ODAC freshman of the year a year ago. Very deep lineup for the Hornets.
2-0 off the outside corner, and now Cameron Meyer having a hard time staying consistent with his command. Should be noted that walk to Neves, first he's issued this season. Just the second start of the season for the tall righty. Comes set, 3-0, outside corner and a called strike 1.
Yeah, so Wesley Arrington started at the top of the first, a little shaky, and he got dialed in. It's the complete opposite here for Mayer. He struck out his first 2 batters, and now he faces first and second with a 3-0 count.
And it becomes the 5-pitch walk. Meyer, after coming today with no base on balls issued, surrenders 2 in a row to Neves, Alvanos. That comes after the double from Jackson with 2 down, and a 2-out rally for Lynchburg. Has the bases loaded. Gavin Collins looking to be the man to at least get the run back he gave up in the top half of the first. First pitch of the AB, crosses on the inside corner. So
it looked like Alvanos walked on that pitch that was just called a strike on Gavin Collins. Maybe a little different here where you got the lefty up compared to Gavin Collins here, who's standing on top of the plate from the right-hander batter's box.
Well, and Meyer got a strikeout against Cam Lane by attacking that inside corner. Lynchburg, first in the ODAC, 42 hit-by pitches this year. And if you can find a pitcher who wants to and lives comfortably attacking the inside corner against a team that wants to stand over the plate, it's a huge potential advantage. But the downside is it's tough to live and do that consistently and comfortably. Through to left field, 1 run is scored. Rounding third, Neves touches home plate as well. So 2 out, 2 RBI, base knock. Gavin Collins moves the Hornets out in front for the first time today.
There you go. Just keep the line moving. And this Lynchburg team has trailed very seldomly here at Fox Field, and only trailing for what? Not even half an inning, because they jump right on top of Tufts here, and that's just good hitting. It's like I said, you think you get through the top 5 in the order, and you're like, okay, I could kind of, I've gotten through them now. 2 outs, just got to get through this 6-hitter. But no, Gavin Collins comes through as a big base knock.
First pitch to Riley O'Donovan. Cold strike on the outside edge. Well, and Collins has gotten out to a little bit of a slower start, and I think that's well known, and you can see that in the stats. But I wonder, 2 out base knocks feel like they do so much more for your confidence, and maybe this is the hit that tries to turn things around for Collins.
And I think sliding him down to the 6th hole really does a lot to take a little bit of the pressure off of a player who came in with such lofty expectations. You know, what can you do in your second year after having such a great first year? And now that he's batting, you know, behind all these great hitters, it's just a little bit easier on him.
Sent to third, Podeswa throws across the diamond for out number 3, but not before Gavin Collins moves Lynchburg out in front with a 2-out, 2 RBI base knock to make it 2-1 at the end of the first inning from Fox Field. It was Gavin Collins with a 2 RBI base knock, bottom of the first, to put the Hornets out in front of the Tufts Jumbos. Jumbos looking to push runs across at back-to-back innings. Getting us started in the top of the second, Connor Podeswa, third baseman, made the final out. In the home half of the first, leads the count, 1-0.
How about that boost of confidence and a little support for Wesley Arrington? Got himself into trouble real early. A couple of first pitch base knocks to lead off the top of the first. He settles in and he gets 2 big strikeouts with the breaking ball. And now he's coming out here he's pitching with the lead.
And a lot of times starters will tell you that first inning is the toughest to work through because you're trying to find your rhythm and get into a groove. So give up a run, long baseball game, that's not going to hurt you. But then to have your offense get 2 back certainly goes a long way. This one goes a long way, but foul down the left field line. Count to 1-2. Podeswa this year, 333 average. This just becomes his 3rd game played.
Yeah, no at-bats prior, except for the start against the apprentice school, but the other 2 games he came in looks like defensive replacements for the third baseman.
2-2, cut on and missed. 3 consecutive strikeouts now for Wes Arrington. It's all right-handed arm, finding his stride, and now takes on the 8-hole hitter and left fielder Jackson Duffy. Duffy, the lowest batting average of any starter in the lineup today, 182. Today becomes his 7th game played, 6th start. Duffy watches the first pitch in for a strike.
What did you major in, TJ, when you were in undergrad?
Communication studies. What about Duffy?
Biopsychology.
That sounds a lot more intense than communications. What's the craziest major you've seen from a baseball player?
I can't think of anything off the top of my head. I know there's a school in San Francisco, the Academy of the Art University. It's a D2 school that just actually started to have sports. And there's a lot of, just they're all art majors. There's stuff from
Varying
painting,
degrees of it, yeah.
graphic design, architecture is their most difficult major, and they have athletes who are, they're getting put through the ringer not only on the field but,
Yeah.
in the classroom as well. It's really interesting to see what some of the student athletes are put through, as Duffy's put through a hit by pitch there to earn a spot on first base.
And that makes it 1-on-1 down for Connor Bowman. And we'll see how this might shift Arrington and the rhythm that he was in. Surrendering the base runner with one down. Bowman, the catcher, gets his first AB, and this marks a full time through the lineup card for Lynchburg starter Wes Arrington. And we talked about in the start of this broadcast, Tim, more than likely a bullpen approach. We'll see how far Lynchburg can ride Arrington, but lineup card and how many times you can flip through it are one of those big indicators you look at in a bullpen type of game. So here is one of those first true indicators. How far can Wes Arrington get into this contest? And he's out in front, 0-2 to Bowman. That's a good start.
Yeah, after those first couple of batters, he's been able to just attack the strike zone and then set up that 1-2 breaking ball that just, has been fooling hitters. So we'll see if he goes back to it again or misses high.
0-2, just off the outside corner.
I like that. You try to nibble at that outside corner. Bowman has seen that he's been willing to throw that breaking ball in the dirt, and so he may think that the bottom's going to fall out of this one, but Wesley was just aiming to hit that lower outside corner.
1-2, cut on and missed. Strikeout number 4 for Wes Arrington, and that marks a full time against the Tufts lineup. And Ozzie Fleischer returns to the plate. We're going to prolong the top half of the second. Fleischer led off the game with a base knock.
I like the mind games Arrington's been playing. He shows the first couple of hitters in those 0-2 counts, the breaking ball, and this time coming at you with the changeup. Trying to catch up to this one. Oh, too early.
And it's a great pitch, and more often than not, you'll see righties use that in right on left spot, so a little bit of a different look right on right. As that's the same situation here to Fleischer, taking the first pitch off the outside corner. Over at first, Duffy 0 for 1 on stolen base attempts this season. Modest lead off the bag. 1-0, just up above the letters.
Arrington, he's just an intimidating presence there on top of the mound. Standing as one of the taller players on this Lynchburg team.
About 6'4".
Coming in at 6'4". Yeah, I think there's a couple of guys on this team who claim to be 6'4". I know Wesley, he's telling the truth.
Lane makes the grab in right field. A runner left on for Tufts, and we have our first 0 put on the scoreboard overlooking James C. Fox Field. We'll step aside and come back with the bottom of the second. Hornets lead the Jumbos 2-1.
If I'm walking around over on the crowd side, I always hear someone yelling, "Hey Nat, take our picture. Hey Nat, get this," or something, or "Hey Nat, you got that shot?" So I'm always trying to photograph the crowds and my friends calling my name. I think sports at Lynchburg unifies us as a whole. No matter what background we come from, what differences we have, and what experience we've experienced through our lives, it brings us all together and we have one goal, which is to win. As a photographer, I definitely get to capture the emotion and the feel and the atmosphere of what's going on during the games and what's happening in the crowd and with the fans. We have hugely dedicated fans here at Lynchburg. They come out whether it's rain, snow, sleet, windy, no matter what. They will come out and support their team and cheer them on. They will sit through anything. It brings us all together as one.
Josh Jorman to lead things off for Lynchburg. He'll be followed by Carson Atkins in the top of the lineup with Cam Lane. First start of the season for Josh Jorman. If you've been watching these Hornets broadcasts throughout the season, though, a name you're familiar with. More often than not, a defensive sub, gets a couple pinch hit opportunities, but today has his name etched in the starting 9 for the first time this season.
Yeah, the junior got his first career hit against Washington and Lee. Single through the left side. And now he's earned a spot in the lineup. Shifts. That's what made the shift with Garrett Jackson over to third base. It's a position he started at earlier in his career here at Lynchburg. So hasn't played much this year, but the familiarity is there.
And Jorman, 2 for 4 in his official at-bats this season. Rolls a foul ball up the third base line.
Yeah, and he got a big hit against Randolph-Macon to keep that line moving when they were coming back in the top of the ninth, or the bottom of the ninth, excuse me.
Here, Jorman waits on the breaking ball, lofts it up and over the head of Fleischer, and down for a base knock.
Keep swinging it, Josh. Keep you in the lineup. It's a good way to keep Coach happy. Just keep those base knocks. Just hits that one softly over shortstop's head, but it doesn't matter as long as it falls in safely.
Third hit of the contest for Lynchburg. Hornets, a 276 average before today's contest. That was 10th in the ODAC. We talk about a 276 batting average, up to a 411 on base percentage. Throw over to first. And we've already seen a little bit of that today. So, yeah, 3 hits, solid start swinging the bat, but how about 2 walks already as well? This Lynchburg team just find ways to get runners on.
Speaking of finding ways to get runners on, how about Carson Atkins taking one off the chin in the bottom of the ninth against Randolph-Macon. We'll get to that in a second.
Miles Reed back to make the grab in front of the warning track for out number 1.
Yeah, but Carson Atkins, man, on first and second, Carson Atkins was up with no outs trying to turn the lineup card over while the Hornets were trying to come back. And he wears one off the chin. Had to go get 4 stitches, actually. But that just shows the sacrifice that he was willing to take on his body just to get a man on base and make that comeback a reality.
Cam Lane to the plate for the second time in his many innings. Has Josh Jorman on at first. Lane wastes no time, finds left center field, splitting the difference between Duffy and Reed. Jorman on his way to third. Lane will hold at first. Runners at the corners for Lynchburg.
As that brings up Logan Webster, I've liked the aggressiveness of Coach Lucas Jones at third base this year with the base runners. Not only do they like to steal a lot of bags, but going first to third on base hits like that. I think back to the game winner. He didn't have to send Logan Webster, who was coming around from first base, to score the game-winning run, but he sent him. And with 1 out, I can see why you would take that risk, but also he just has faith in his lineup to, give 110% as they're rounding the bases. That makes bigger difference than you may see something that doesn't show up in the box score a lot.
First pitch to Webster, a called strike 1. The DH 0 for 1 with a strikeout last inning. Seventh start of the season for Logan Webster. Patient approach, watches the breaking ball, count to 1-1. Over the weekend we had a perfect setting for some afternoon baseball. Pitch cut on a miss, throw to second. Tag not applied in time. Lane evades the glove of Fleischer and now stands in scoring position. Talk more about the weather around at this point. About 61 degrees outside, mostly cloudy, 11-mile-an-hour winds or so. A little more winter than spring, but we're still in that hybrid season.
Coming from New York, I think this is a lot more spring than winter, TJ.
Lifelong Virginia native next to you. Honestly, I don't know what I'm going to get when I wake up. It's the best part about living in the state in a lot of ways.
People say Lynchburg is a rainier city than Seattle. That's what I've heard.
They say that about what?
Lynchburg, a rainier city than
Really?
Seattle. It's
Fascinating. Full count. Webster has it crossed by at the knees, and he's rung up. Third strikeout for Cameron Meyer. And Webster now 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts, one looking, one swinging.
So let's see how that freshman Webster responds to this adversity year. He's been having a really successful start to the year, and I have some confidence that the freshman's going to be able to bounce back. He had a slow start in that Randolph-Macon game, but he was able to earn the hit by pitch later on in the 9th inning. So just takes one good plate appearance to make a big impact on the game, and I'm not too worried about Webster there.
And it takes just one pitch to retire Jackson for out number 3. 2 runners left on, and not just left on in scoring position. Meat left on the bone for Lynchburg. We're headed to the top of the 3rd. 2-1 Hornets lead the Jumbos. After 3 runs come across in the first, we have a scoreless second to bring us to the top half of the 3rd inning. Wes Arrington will go toe-to-toe with 2-3-4 in the Tufts lineup. Jimmy Evans, Miles Reed, and Peter DiMaria coming to the plate. All 3 reached their first time up. And there's a single for Evans to get him aboard. Reed at .378 average so far this season. First pitch he sees is down and outside.
So I was trying to figure out what the approach from Beasley and the pitching staff is going to be for the Hornets. I was kind of anticipating a once through the lineup and on to the next guy, try to get, uncomfortable at bats the entire game for Tufts. But I think if that was the strategy, Wesley Arrington's been pitching so well that you just got to keep him out there for the time being. His attack of the strike zone's been pretty great.
Sent out towards right center field. Atkins ranges back and is there to make the grab for out number 1. I think you're spot on in that assessment, Tim. Maybe it's one lineup, trip through the card, trip through the card. You kind of assess as you go along with Arrington. The only reason I say that is in a perfect world, you're getting 5 from Arrington and you're not having to stretch your bullpen too much, right? You do have, games against Eastern Mennonite this weekend, so trying to keep some options there against the Royals. This pitch misses outside to Reed. (1-0), Sky to right. Lane ranges to the line and makes the grab for out number 2.
So Paul Sweeney, the Director of Athletic Communications at Tufts, does a good job on these rosters. For Miles Reed, he has every athlete's pregame superstition. And for Miles Reed, no haircuts during the year. I like that one.
Wow.
It's kind of like a playoff beard all year long.
Yeah, that's an approach. I give him a lot of credit. That is not something I could ever think of doing. Peter DiMaria, 1 for 1. Was stranded at second back in the first inning. And Tim, now I got to ask. You did some research about Jumbos. Why that mascot name?
Yeah, everyone always says we play Tufts in a couple different sports here at University of Lynchburg, and I had to just look it up. You ever seen The Greatest Showman?
I have not.
Okay, you're a big movie guy. I'm surprised you haven't seen that one. But
not a big musical guy.
That movie is about a family who creates a circus, and the main character, I actually didn't know it was a true story, main character P.T. Barnum. And so back in 1857, the student body at Tufts was able to vote on the school colors. They selected blue and brown. So that's why you see baby blue and brown out there. But in 1885, P.T. Barnum donated a stuffed elephant named Jumbo to the campus. And that Jumbo the elephant was on campus for 85 years until, unfortunately, the building and Jumbo the elephant were burned to the ground after 85 years. But the Jumbos are named after a real live elephant that P.T. Barnum donated to the university.
That is unbelievable, honestly. Great work there, Tim. Also, great work for Wes Arrington. He gets the swing and miss strike 3 against DiMaria and completes a 1-2-3 top of the third. We'll step aside and come back with the home half of the frame from Fox Field. Avery needs to leave things off for Lynchburg. He'll be followed up by 5-6 portion of the order. That's P.J. Alvenos, Gavin Collins. If anywhere to reach, we'll see Riley O'Donovan return to the plate. Attacking the inside corner. Nicked in and out of the glove of Bowman. Count to 1-1. Eves drew a walk his last time up. Came around to score the second. The 2-run bottom of the first.
Neves with the multi-hit game with the home run and the walk-off double last game. It's his 6th multi-hit game of the season. And he's been having quite a year so far. ODAC Player of the Year earlier in the season when during the sweep of Dickinson, and also had a hit against Averett. So he's rewarded with a conference-wide honor there. And, of course, All-American last season in his first year with the Hornets.
And those weekly accolades, Lynchburg has come rather accustomed to seeing those pour in their favor. Neves underneath this one, drives it out to left. And a couple steps in, Jackson Duffy makes a grab for out number 1. But to that point, Carson Atkins has received Athlete of the Week for baseball inside the ODAC. Grayson Thurman has been tabbed Pitcher of the Week a couple times.
Yeah, twice in a row. There was a point where he was just striking everybody out, and he wasn't even okay with just striking 3 out of an inning.
Mm-hmm. Had to do 4 in an inning.
Had to do it 4 in an inning earlier in the year against York when he got that reaches on a pass ball, and he was able to strike out a 4th player of the inning.
And he was lights out in those appearances we got to see in that weekend series against the Spartans. Base knock for Alvenos. 1 on, 1 down for Gavin Collins.
Now to bat number 15, Gavin Collins.
Collins came through in a big way in the bottom of the first. 2 RBI, 2 out, base knock to put Lynchburg into the scoring column. First pitch from Meyer. Misses away. So 19th all-time meeting between these two squads. It's an even series history, 9 wins for each team. Lynchburg 7-9 at home against the Jumbos, 2-0 at a neutral site. But Lynchburg has won 2 of the last 3. Last time these two teams saw one another was back in 2019. Pitch misses inside to make it 2 balls and a strike to Collins. Meyer again trying to attack that inside corner. Misses the zone. Counts well as to 3-1.
Yeah, relatively unfazed as Collins there on these inside pitches, even to a point where I think once or twice this year he's been hit by a pitch and the umpire has told him to stay in the box as he did not make an effort to move away out of the way of the pitch. So he really does not mind getting hit by pitches as long as it means getting on base. And, you know, he's getting on base right now at that 318 clip.
Line foul, first base side. Do it again at 3-2. 42 hit by pitches so far this year for the Lynchburg offense. Today marks game 16 of the season, excuse me, game 19 of the season. Just an astronomical rate. But that's team-wide approach, stand on top of the plate, try to find barrels when teams attack the outside corner and make pitchers feel uncomfortable going to the inside corner.
As long as you can get those hands around on that inside part of the plate, you're in business.
Runner in motion, 3-2, breaking ball, slapped out to right. Catch is made by Evans, and Alvano's forced to retreat back to first. So a 2 away, Riley O'Donovan will step to the plate, looking to prolong inning number 3.
So I need to know what's in the water out in Reston, Virginia, because Riley O'Donovan, he's an intimidating 6'1", 205. Also from Reston, Avery Neves, 6'2", 225. They got some big boys out in Reston. The baseball team was out helping us build the beach volleyball courts here on campus. And, you know, I see all these players with their gear on. He's wearing the full catcher's gear. He's got the helmet on. And I was like, who is that kid? That kid is huge. And I didn't know that it was Riley O'Donovan. So he's a big boy out there and playing behind the plate. And he's been able to swing the bat pretty well, too. He had a homer in his first game of the season against Trinity. Or, excuse me, against Washington during that Alabama trip. But, yeah, something in the water out there in Reston.
Well, it starts with 2 hydrogen, followed up by an oxygen.
Something
Beyond that, I can't.
It's got to be something a little extra.
3rd hydrogen, perhaps. I'm not a chemist, so I don't know what that actually leads
you're
to. Don't hold me that.
Communications major.
I'll stick to that lane. Slow roller to second. Gold Tees fires to first in time for out number 3. Alvanos has his single squandered. We've made it through 3, headed to the top of the 4th. Lynchburg out in front of Tufts, 2-1. On to the top half of the 4th inning.
You really should
Lynchburg
be doing that, though.
leads Tufts 2-1. All 3 runs we've seen so far have come in the first inning. You're watching the Hornets and the Jumbos battle it out on LHSN. TJ Winger alongside Tim LaDuca with you. And Tim, Wes Arrington back out to the bump on top of the 4th inning and just picked up his 5th strikeout in his last inning of work. I'd say it's been pretty solid. A little bit of a bumpy first inning, but he's settled down in a nice way.
Yeah, he's retired 4 in a row here, and that's broken up, a longer streak broken up just by a hit by pitch in the 2nd inning. But dating back to after that 3rd single in the 1st, 8 of the 9 batters he's faced, he's retired. So he's really settled into a groove here as he starts out with the ball.
This is Kyle Cortez. The second baseman made the final out in the bottom of the 3rd. Fastball rolled over up the first base line, backhanded by Jorman, and Airmails the throw with Arrington trying to cover over at first. Cortez aboard at first. Welcome start to the 4th inning for the Jumbos.
Yeah, it's a tough play for the junior first baseman German there going on the backhand. He made a good play to corral it, but a good throw would have gotten him there on the J drill. I got bad news for the Hornets for tomorrow. I guess they're going to play Eastern Mennonite, but coming back on Monday, going to do a lot of pitchers fielding practice coming up.
The banana drill.
Yeah, the J drill, we called it.
Oh, well, I like to think of it as banana. Regardless, 31st error of the season to go against Lynchburg. The first pitch is in for a strike to preseason All-American Clay Sowell. Healthy lead off of first. Cortez, the middle infielder, you can expect a fair amount of speed. 0-1 misses above the chest.
So Sowell, there's one multi-hit game so far. That was the last one in the 5-4 extra inning win over Washington and Lee. But besides that, he's swinging a good bat with that 286 average and 571 on base. It's a good stop there by Riley O'Donovan.
And going back to talk about Wes Arrington a little bit more, you talked about retired 8 of the last 9 he faced. That changes a little bit here with the error putting Cortez on. But a lot of the success for Arrington has been strikeouts and fly ball outs, which is interesting to me because we talked about his frame at 6'4". A lot of times you'll get further down the mound and you'll get downhill angles. That leads to a lot of ground balls as, you know, hitters are just swinging over it. That has not been the case today. Maybe a little overcorrection from the Jumbos at the plate, or just Arrington hasn't totally dialed into that downhill angle, and because of that, getting more fly balls and missing barrels of the Jumbos all the same.
Yeah, I think it is when he is attacking lower in the zone with those balls that are dropping out of the bottom of the zone. He's just missing bats. So it's not that the Jumbos are driving these into the ground.
This one sent out to left field. Neves in front of the warning track. Makes the grab for out number 1.
But all those balls down in the zone, they're just not able to get any part of the bat on them. And there's another one for you. So good analysis there, TJ.
Trying my best. Trying to find trends. 1-on-1 down. Connor Podesta. Podesta back to the plate. Third baseman 0 for 1 with a strikeout.
So what, the one ground ball out so far was that 5 unassisted out to Garrett Jackson. Third batter of the day, Miles Reed.
And transitioning, talk about something a little different. This is a big season for Tufts. New head coach, Paul Svagdis, takes over for longtime head coach and school Hall of Famer. And Coach Casey retired before this season. Coach Casey was also part of the administrative staff inside the athletics department, so a very important figure for Tufts, not only as this baseball team, but the athletics department in and of itself. But Coach Vagdis, just like Coach Jones for Lynchburg, an alumni, former player for this program, got to feel confident, especially this Tufts team. Made it to a regional championship game last year. Expectations are high. Feels like the hiring of Paul Vagdis keeps you in a spot where you can keep those bars and expectations set at a high level.
Well, you got to be feeling good if you're Svagdis, because how about that for a first impression? You bring your team on a 9+ game road trip, and you haven't lost yet. And you're facing some good competition while you're at it. This is the number 4 team in the country, and Tufts is not backing down at all.
Base knock deposited to right center field. Lane has a hard time handling it. Rounding third, Cortez touches home plate, and Tufts, with a run across the top of the 4th, makes it 2-2.
Now at bat, number 27, Jackson Duffy.
Podeswa moves all the way up to second. And now Jackson Duffy comes to plate. RBI opportunity. Can move Tufts back out in front. Duffy without an official at bat as he was hit by a pitch his first time up. Pitch misses down the dirt, blocked up by O'Donovan. It's the first run we've seen since back in the first inning. And also Go down as the second error of the inning for Lynchburg, 32nd of the season. So it's a single for Podeswa, followed by an E9. That moves him up to second. And the single moved Cortez presumably all the way up to third. He was turning hard around second one way or another, and then comes around to score on the E9.
Yeah, that's tough for Lane out there in right field. He had that one in front of him, kind of just overran it as he was going to field that ball. Had to, try to field it behind his body, and it gets past him. So unfortunately for Podeswa as well, no RBI there on the single.
Arrington ahead in the count, 1-2. Looking for strikeout number 6 in the day. Instead misses down and outside, even the count at 2-all. And talking about losing your footing for Cam Lane, I was out behind the center field and outfield wall in and of itself. And I can assure you the footing is not great. I'm wearing tennis shoes, not metal cleats or anything like that, but I can see where you might be able to lose some footing underneath you.
And I'm proud of you, TJ, for going out and doing your field research before the game.
That's exactly what I was out there. 2-2, a weak swing from Duffy, and he goes down on strikes. Punch out number 6 for Arrington, and a big out number 2 to the top of the fourth.
Yeah, so the 2 errors. All right, I guess this run's never going to come around to be earned because Cortez reached base on the error. But, the outing so far for Wes Arrington is the run came in on the pass ball. No earned runs yet. But we have a tie ball game here at 2-2.
Nine-hole man and catcher Connor Bowman back to the plate, 0 for 1 with the strikeout. We're going to come through in a big 2-out opportunity. Podeswa, Saul, he runs well. Off from second. Arrington trying to attack the outside corner again. Misses the zone. Hitters count 2 balls and no strikes.
So taking a look at the defensive alignment with the right-handed batter up there, Carson Atkins got him shaded all the way in the right field, right center gap. So big hole in left center here for the right-handed catcher. Maybe that means they're going to just pitch him outside this entire at-bat, and there's not going to be anything for him to get the barrel out in front of and pull.
And mirroring that, in this circumstance, it's actually Collins closer to the runner, standing behind Podeswa at second. Alvanos has been tapping the glove near the bag at second, but a lot of times you'll see the second baseman trying to keep a runner honest. A little bit different here with Lynchburg clearly thinking that Bowman might send it the other way. 3-0, too far inside, and the catcher hit by a pitch and trots up the first base line.
Yeah, no defensive alignment there is going to stop that base runner from reaching.
That's some sound analysis right there. And that's a really disappointing battle there for Arrington, as that's the 9-hole hitter. You're looking for out number 3 in that spot. Instead, you fall behind 3-0, try to do a little too much, end up plunking Bowman. And now lineup card turns over. This could easily turn into another run with 2 down. Now we've seen in this contest, Lynchburg, their 2 runs, bottom of the first with 2 down. Tufts with the chance to exact some revenge here.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's exactly what the sophomore catcher went out there to talk to his pitcher about. Just, hey, we almost had that one. Let's dial it back in. We got 2 outs. Let's just do it one more time and just make sure we finish on this at bat instead of hitting the batter. But way to hang in there for Bowman. Turn on the lineup card any way you can.
Tufts led their conference a season ago, 7.7 runs per game. Now it's Ozzie Fleischer back to the plate for a third time, 1 for 2 so far this afternoon. Oh, 1, cut on and missed. Pitchers count at 0-2.
Yeah, that swing all arms there from Fleischer. Looks like Arrington had him fooled there on the outside corner. Fleischer may have been expecting something a little bit more harder on the inside part of the plate, but looks like setting up back outside again.
Good miss in that spot. Breaking pitch drops off the outside corner.
I mean, there is the right-handed batter up. The right-handers pulled this ball to the left side of the field, but the entire defensive alignment, save for Garrett Jackson here up the line at third base, is shaded as if there's a left-handed hitter at bat.
Fleischer looking for RBI number 6 of the season, and he'll have it. Able to send it fair up the third base line. Podeswa scores. Bowman rounds third and touches home plate as well. 2 out, 2 RBI double for the shortstop Fleischer.
Yeah, so that's the ground rule double here as that ball goes into the tarp on the field. I think that Bowman has to come back to first base because you're only allowed the 2 bases that Fleischer was also awarded. So, yeah, there goes Bowman trotting back out to third base. I'm sure he wasn't trying to pull a fast one, but it doesn't hurt to try.
So instead, it's an RBI double. Still pretty impressive there for Fleischer. And now 2 on in scoring position. Tufts has retaken the lead at 3-2. And with the 2 Ducks in scoring position, Jimmy Evans returns to the plate. Had a single in the first, then flew out to center. First pitch of the at-bat, down below the knees. Evans, .459 average before today's contest. Today marks his 8th start of the season. A chance here to pick up RBI 9 and 10 if he's come through the hit to the outfield. Sent to second, and under the glove of Alvenos. Evans will have those 2 RBIs. And it's now 3 across for the Jumbos with 2 away in the top of the 4th.
Maybe left Arrington out there a little bit too long here as the parade's starting to roll around here, bringing Reed back up for the second time in as many innings. It's the RBI there from Jimmy Evans. He's just been swinging a phenomenal bat. How about that from the left side of the plate?
Evans now 2 for 3, and it's 3 runs with 2 away in this inning, 4 all told here in the top of the 4th to make it 5-2. Tufts out in front of Lynchburg. Ground ball sent to second. Alvenos snags this one. The throw to first is in time to retire Miles Reed for out number 3, but the damage is done. The Jumbos stop out with 4 runs across in the top of the 4th and now hold a 3-run lead as we step aside and come back with the home half of the 4th from Fox Field.
Look what you're missing. It really don't matter to me. I'm just happy to be here. I might go crazy.
Bottom of the 4th inning, Lynchburg. Looking for the response. Surrendering 4 to the Jumbos in the top half of this inning. Leading things off is the first baseman Johnny Truman. He'll then be followed by Carson Atkins. At the top of the order with Cam Lane running to the plate. 3-run lead for Cameron Meyer to work with. He retakes the mound for his 4th inning of work. Misses outside on the first pitch. He tosses this inning. And Meyer went 8 deep at the apprentice school in his first start of the season, so somebody who certainly can venture deeper and deeper in this contest. And talking about pitchers being able to travel far into this game, Tim, you and I talked about earlier in this game, it was going to be a rotation through the lineup card, one by one type of approach for West Arrington and Lynchburg, and he gets that 3rd time through the order. Fleischer has the RBI double and a 2 RBI single from Jimmy Evans. Really speaks to the more you get to see a pitcher, the more advantageous it becomes. And we're going to start to see Lynchburg have that advantage as Jorman, Atkins, then Lane. We'll see Meyer for a 3rd time.
Yeah, and it's not even like the top of that order was having bad at-bats against Arrington in the beginning of the game. You know, they ring out 4 hits, and the first 3 batters, all 4 of them reach base. So just extended it a little too far there. We'll see who's coming out next for Lynchburg as Jorman grounds out.
4-3 put out. We'll send Atkins to the plate. Center fielder 0 for 1 with a fly out to center.
Now at bat,
Talked about it earlier in the broadcast. Atkins, a couple weeks back, named ODAC Athlete of the Week for baseball.
Yeah, reaching base twice a game over that stretch and that 4-game stretch. And he's hit by another pitch here, so reaches base again for the first time today.
43rd time this year that a Hornet has been hit by a pitch. Take another look at it. Atkins, just like many other righties, stand close to the plate, and this one's close. You wear the elbow guard for a reason.
Yeah, is that the reason why they're wearing it, TJ, is to get a little more surface area out there?
Ooh, surface area. Look at that. Bringing out that's a sciencey word.
I don't want to call you out, TJ, but I don't think
Call me out.
I don't know if that's too complicated.
How often do you listen to a baseball broadcast and hear surface area mentioned?
Only here on LHSN.
Exactly. That's why you tune in to watch these games. 0-2 count to Cam Lane. Right fielder is 1 for 2 so far this afternoon.
You want to talk about surface area? He's being asked to cover the surface out there in right field as they check on the speedy Atkins at first base.
And
But-
Atkins can cover a lot of surface area. Runs fast.
Yeah, that's very true. But Cam Lane covering right field. He began the year as the DH, as the leadoff hitter. So he fouls this one back, but after Jackson Harden goes down with an injury, which are real unfortunate, he was playing real great here in his senior season. Cam Lane stepped up. I think he's been playing a pretty good right field for a guy who was started the year as the DH. You know, he does have that error today, the base position error. But besides that, he's made a couple of nifty plays out there.
Healthy lead off from first for Atkins. Lane sends another one back to the padding. Do it once more at 0-2. Talking more about the 43 hit by pitches now. I'll double check my math, but even if there's not another hit batter this game, 43 divided by 19, 2.26. More than 2 hit by pitches a game. That is remarkable, outstanding, astonishing, whatever verb you want to throw at it, adjective. The count now 1-2. And that's certainly a big part of the reason why Lynchburg comes today 10th in the conference in batting average, 3rd in on-base percentage.
And this isn't anything new for this Lynchburg lineup as Cam Lane goes down swinging for the second out. But going back to last year, they were near the top in the country with hit by pitches.
Strikeout number 4 for Cameron Meyer. And with 2 away, Logan Webster returns to the plate. The DH, 0 for 2, struck out twice, once looking, once swinging.
Yeah, so 100 hit by pitches last year from this team. That was 3rd in the country across Division III baseball for Lynchburg last season.
Almost halfway there already.
And we're not halfway through the season, are we?
We're getting close.
Just about.
Yeah. Does that include postseason play?
Yes.
Then I would say we are not about halfway done, given the expectations this Hornets program has set for themselves. Atkins takes off, and we'll have second base. It's called strike at the plate, so it's now 1-2 to Webster.
So there was a stretch right against York where this Lynchburg team didn't run at all. They were caught stealing 3 times and weren't able to do it successfully. But they've just been stealing bases multiple times a game. You look back at Averett on February 23rd, this team stole 7 bases. Just running all over the place. About 7 games this year with multiple stolen bases. That just shows we're going to get on base with the tough AB, make you work, pitch outside. You know, we dare you to come inside on us. And then if you put us on, you hit us, we're going to take second base on you too. So just a lot to think about for the opposing pitchers.
Webster up for a battle. Let's do it again at 3-2. The swipe back for Atkins, his 5th on the season. A hit to the outfield, 2 away. Atkins running on contact. Almost certainly gets back one of the 4. Lynchburg led up the top of the 4th. 3-2, elevated fastball, and Meyer has his 5th strikeout on the afternoon, and Atkins stranded at second base. Lynchburg held scoreless for the 3rd consecutive inning. We're stepping aside through 4, coming back with the top of the 5th between Tufts and Lynchburg on LHSN. Top of the 5th inning, Peter DiMaria to lead things off, followed by Kyle Cortez and Clay Sowell. Scheduled to plate. If anywhere to reach, we'll see Connor Bodezwa step up for the Jumbos as well.
Going back to the well. Sorry, TJ. Going back to the well with Wesley here. Going back to the Wesley. Well, I'm kind of surprised to see him back out here.
Sent to left field and out of here. Cleanup man Peter DiMaria. His 2nd hit of the game. Not held in by James C. Fox Field. Home run. Makes it 6-2 Tufts.
DiMaria stings his 2nd homer of the season. It's going to be his 8th of his career. And that's a big run to lead off the 5th inning here. And a loud one at that.
And it becomes RBI number 9 for DiMaria on the season. And Kyle Cortez tasked with following it up. First pitch in for a strike. Strong initial response for Arrington, looking to get through inning number 5. At this point in the game, that home run, the first earned run to go against Arrington. Tall righty, 5 strikeouts, no walks, is tossed 77 towards home plate. One rolled over by Cortez. Alvenos fields and fires for out number 1.
This is a Tufts team with a lot of pop in the lineup. They hit 29 home runs last year, and they only played 23 games.
And not that this is the end-all be-all, but that's half your games being played in Massachusetts. Ball doesn't travel quite as far in the cold weather as it would here in Virginia on a modest day.
Exactly. And thinking if they started out the season the same way they did, a lot of games on the road as well.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a team that 500 slugging percentage as a team last year for Tufts. This is not a team I'd like to run into in the postseason, that's for sure.
And last year, Tufts lost to Amherst in the NESCAC title series, then reached the Division III regional championship game. That's where the expectations and the bar is set for this season.
13 homers in 10 games. So they're on just about the same pace as they were last season. And they haven't played a game at home yet.
9-0 to start on the year. 10 games, including today, in 11 days, all on the road.
And it's not even like they're coming close to being done with this road trip, TJ. They continue this trip. They're going to play Randolph-Macon during the weekend, and then they're finally back in the great state of Massachusetts on Tuesday the 29th. But that's only 2 days after you get back from your spring break trip.
1-2 left outside. 2-2 the count now to Sowell.
They are really doing the ODAC tour, though. They've taken on Guilford. They've taken on Washington and Lee. Randolph-Macon coming up, as I said. we're on the ODAC as Lynchburg.
Count Averett in the mix. Future
Averett
ODAC
coming
member.
up next season, and then Methodist, who is also, USA South, but it seems like Lynchburg's playing them in every single sport all season long.
Call them acquaintances. 2-2 from Arrington. Sent foul towards the Lynchburg dugout, third base side.
That almost sent Coach Garcia to the ground. Good balance there from the assistant coach Garcia on the stool. Was able to stay up.
And if Coach Garcia, say he falls back, what does that mean for the Skittles and or Sour Patch watermelon flavor? I mean, that could be disastrous. Strikeout here for Arrington. 7th on the afternoon, and Sowell heads back to the dugout, representing the second out to the top of the 5th.
Yeah, so good for Arrington. So several times he's been tested here, and he's able to bounce back right away. He finishes up the inning there in the 4th. He had a good bounce back inning in the 1st inning, and then after giving the home run, retires the next 2 batters fairly easily, make it the next 3.
Lane makes the grab out and right, and Bodeswa down on the first pitch he sees. After surrendering the leadoff home run, Arrington sends the Jumbos down in order, but the solo shot by Peter DiMaria, his second on the year, makes it 6-2. Tufts out in front of Lynchburg.
Look what you're missing.
It really don't matter to me. I'm just happy to be here. I might go crazy.
Jumbos push the lead to 6-2. Bottom of the 5th inning. Sees Garrett Jackson, Avery Neves, P.J. Alvanos scheduled to come to the plate. First pitch of the inning from Cameron Meyer, in for a called strike. Meyer to this point tossed 4+, 2 earned runs, 5 strikeouts to 2 walks. Gets a swing and miss. Swing and a partial miss, I should say. Held on by Bowman. The count 0-2 all the same.
Yeah, that's the kind of swings you're going to have to take sometimes. Real uncomfortable as the ball's in on your hands on the inside corner when you're going to be standing on top of the plate. I guess Garrett Jackson's one of the guys who stands a little bit off the plate. But still, he's right on top of it.
Breaking ball clips the outside corner. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Jackson down for out number 1. 6th strikeout of the day for Meyer, 3rd in a row. This is his 3rd time through the lineup card, and he started with strikeout, strikeout, strikeout.
And you mentioned this at the top of the broadcast, TJ. He pitched those 8 innings in his first start of the year.
Neves, drive, left field, kiss it goodbye. Neves knew it immediately. Lynchburg with a response. DiMaria goes yard in the top of the 5th. Neves gets a solo shot of his own in the bottom half of the inning.
I'd say he got all of that one, TJ. Allowed out in the 3rd inning. He flew out to left field this time. No one's catching that one except for the trees back there behind Fox Field. And, wow, he tattooed that ball.
Yeah, Avery Neves owes that baseball an apology note. That was rude, to say the least. But we talked about it in an earlier at-bat. He just has this timing, and he gets that feel for an opposing pitcher so quick. And you could see he was sitting on that breaking pitch, knew it was coming all the way, and did not miss any bit of it.
Yeah, I mean, Avery Neves is just such an impressive hitter. And and this shows you how this Lynchburg lineup's never out of the game. A crooked number in the fourth from Tufts, and then another insurance run in the fifth. But I mean, come on, when you got Avery Neves in the lineup, this is how the rally started against Randolph-Macon.
Alvenos can't help but chase and goes down swinging. Strikeout number 7 for Cameron Meyer. And a strong response for the tall righty after giving up the solo shot to Neves. He puts down Alvenos and now goes toe-to-toe with Gavin Collins for a third time.
I got to ask you, TJ, it's the home. I never agreed with this statement, but home run is a rally killer. Where if, you're working a rally and an inning, you're getting guys on, and the home run clears the bases, it kind of kills momentum. I don't see that to be the case.
Yeah, I would disagree wholeheartedly, and I would compare it to football. It's like getting 90 yards down the field and then not score. That can be the same way in baseball. You get runners on, and okay, momentum's building, but then what good is it if no run comes across? Home runs, nice guaranteed way of putting points on the board. So I would definitely defer or go against that way of thinking.
Yeah, if we're measuring wins by whoever scores more runs, how about a swing at the bat that gives you a run on one swing?
And how about a bloop single to right field to prolong the bottom of the fifth?
Yeah, it's not to say that I don't appreciate that from Collins. I love a good base hit and a little bloop single that falls into right field. I'm just not going to get mad at a guy for hitting a home run that goes to 360 feet down the line to left field.
And I feel like it almost has the opposite effect. Sure, you could call it a rally killer, but what do you think the spirits are like before and after that home run in the Lynchburg dugout?
Exactly.
That'd be a good segment. We got to add that to the broadcast. The before and after morale meter. Got to think of a way to visualize that.
I was thinking there's got to be a way to measure this theory, though, as home runs as a rally killer. How many runs are scored after a home run? And what would you compare that to, though?
Okay, there's somebody out there who's smart enough to compare the numbers and put those stats in the analytics together. But for a guy who was impressed by you saying surface area, I don't think I'm the dude to do that.
TJ, you can't be so hard on yourself.
0-2 the count. O'Donovan looking to battle. He's 0 for 2 with a pair of groundouts. Meyer leaves this one well off the outside corner. If O'Donovan reaches, Josh Dorman is the man on deck for the Hornets.
And that's going to be a nice righty on lefty matchup here for Coach Jones if he can get that line moving from Riley O'Donovan here.
Still a pitcher's count. Long pause for Meyer. Donovan sends it back to the screen.
Good at bat here from O'Donovan. You're down 1-2, but you're still fighting. You're expanding the strike zone just a little bit. That ball probably above the letters. It was going to be called the ball, but I'm not mad at O'Donovan for chasing after that one, trying to see if he can make something happen.
Another 1-2. Breaking pitch off the outside corner to even the count. 2-all with 2 down. Bottom of the fifth, Lynchburg already with 1 run across. Solo home run from Avery Neves in case you missed it. And now with 2 down, Lynchburg looking to emulate what they did in the bottom of the first. Slow roller, third base side. Podeswa with a strong throw across the diamond. Retires O'Donovan for out number 3. Collins left on the base paths, but Lynchburg gets a run back in the form of Avery Neves and his 4th home run of the year to make it 6-3 as we head to the top of the 6th.
The biggest thing that I've taken from Westover is probably my interactions with faculty. I started working with Dr. Fryer. He's always available for help, and he makes sure that I get to do the experiments and not just be there while he does them. want to limit myself when I came here to just taking the prereqs for med school. I wanted to get a full, well-rounded education, and I definitely found that in the Westover program. It's given me the opportunity to keep playing soccer at a competitive level, but also it's given me the ability to be a student and to pursue other activities such as EMS. 100% do Westover because it's not something they're going to regret, and it's going to be a lot of work, but so is everything else. It's just going to help build their education that they've already had and make them a better person for it.
Baylor Comby takes over on the mound for Lynchburg. That marks the end of the day for starter Wes Arrington after going through 5 innings for the Hornets. He gives way to Comby, and this marks appearance number 4 of the season for the righty. 11.57 ERA through 2 2/3 innings worth of work. Opponents are hitting .364 against Comby. 4 strikeouts to 1 walk this season.
So you were out in right field earlier in the game doing some field research, and I was lucky enough to be working on that volleyball court. You know, we're building the beach volleyball court here on the University of Lynchburg's campus, and baseball, as I said, came out to help. And Baylor Comby, you want a tough guy. This guy's tough as nails. He was just moving wheelbarrows of rocks around the surface area. There it is again, TJ, of the court we're making, and he's just a strong dude. You should have seen him just hauling rocks all over that court for about an hour or so, and didn't seem to take anything out of him.
First pitch today for Comby misses down and inside. The senior from Midlothian, Virginia, went to Midlothian High School. Will start his day against Jackson Duffy, followed up with Connor Bowman. Then the top of the order with Ozzie Fleischer, scheduled to come back to the plate. 1-1 count. Both teams get a run across in the 5th. Solo home runs for each side. It was Peter DiMaria for Tufts and Avery Neves for Lynchburg. That gives us to where we are now, 6-3. Jumbo's leading the Hornets. Comby elevates, misses the zone. It's now 2-1. Most recent appearance for Comby. First game of a doubleheader against Washington and Lee. Scoreless frame with a strikeout along the way. 2-1, outside corner, count even at 2. Lynchburg looking to stay unbeaten at home and elevate to 13-0. Playing at Fox Field this season. And on top of that, looking to improve to 16-3 on the year, make it 4 consecutive wins. While Tufts talked about this road stretch and the fact that they're 9-0 this year, looking to continue their sweep along the East Coast and reach double digits to start the year at 10-0. Payoff pitch. Breaking ball misses inside, and it's a leadoff walk issued to Duffy.
Some gritty plate appearances here from Duffy so far. That one almost got a bit of the jersey on Duffy there. He started off the game for himself with a hit by pitch, and he's back on again. Also with a hit by pitch in this game was Bowman. He steps in here, and his plate appearance where he worked that hit by pitch was really big in that 4th inning because it turned the lineup card over, and it forced Arrington to pitch to the top of the order, which is where Fleischer and company did a lot of their damage, started scoring all those runs.
Yeah, if you look at, had Arrington set down Bowman, that's it. That's the end of the 4th. And you're looking at a very different ball game right now. Duffy off from first, not an overly large lead. Duffy takes off 0-1, up and over where Alvanos might have been standing. Hit and run, works to great success for Tufts, puts runners at the corners with no down to start the 6th.
Yeah, you like to see that brand of baseball. You know, get those runners moving, you get the defense moving as well, and just right through the hole. You mentioned that's where PJ was going to be standing with the right-handed batter in Bowman, though. It's Alvanos who's covering the bag there, and that was just drawn up perfectly and great execution as well. It's one thing to call the hit and run and have the batter swing at anything, and coach means anything when he calls the hit by pitch, but to put that perfect contact in there is pretty impressive.
And another hit batter. This time it's Ozzie Fleischer making the walk up the first base line as Bowman advances to second. And Tim, what I was about to say is the 8-9 spots, Duffy and Bowman, who are both on right now, combined 1 for 3, but they've each been hit by a pitch, and Duffy's also drawn the walk to start this inning. And then that makes the 1-2 spot in this order that much more dangerous. Fleischer, prior to being hit by a pitch, and even now after, and Jimmy Evans, who's scheduled to come to the plate next, both 2 for 3. And have a combined 3 RBIs, and a big part of that is 8-9 hitters are getting on, setting up favorable chances for top of the order to come to the plate and drive in runs, and that's been the recipe for success specifically in the top of the 4th, and that now carries over into this contest as Lynchburg will make a pitching change. That ends today for Comby. We'll step aside, come back and tell you about the new arm for the Hornets. When we come back, you're watching Tufts and Lynchburg on LHSN.
Look what you're missing.
It really don't matter to me, I'm just happy to be here, I might go crazy.
Angel Collazo comes out of the pen. That marks an end of the day for Baylor Cumby, who, unable to retire an out, instead issues a walk, a single, and a hit by pitch.
Yeah, not necessarily the end of the day fully, though, for Cumby, as he has all 3 runners to his tab here with no outs.
Lead runner is Jackson Duffy at third. Connor Bowman behind him at second. On at first after being hit by a pitch is Ozzie Fleischer. Bases loaded chance comes to the shoulders of Jimmy Evans, who's 2 for 3. 2 RBIs already. Left on left spot. And Tim, we talked about it earlier. Associate head coach Travis Beasley is not afraid to just make one pitching change for one specific hitter, as it's a 3-6-1 double play. A run does come across in the form of Jackson Duffy. No RBI for Evans, but Tufts pushes the lead to 7-3, but at the expense of 2 outs on top of the 6th. Here it is one more time, and 3-6-1, not one you see all that often. Give a ton of credit. Gavin Collins looking like a routine, regular shortstop right out there, considering most of his time start the season's been over at third.
Yeah, and he just has the comfortability around the middle of the infield there. I was thinking the same exact thing as he turned that. I'm like, oh, let's see how the shortstop, part-time third baseman, can make a play. But, oh, he looks smooth.
Pitch makes it all the way to the backstop, and sliding in to make it 8-3 is Connor Bowman. Tufts now up by 5. Both runs will be charged to Baylor Cumby, and that will officially mark the end of the day for the righty reliever. And it's a 1-1 count to Miles Reed, center fielder, 0 for 3 today. You look at the top 4 of this Tufts order, it's given Lynchburg fits. 2 hits for Fleischer, Evans, and DiMaria, who's on deck. But Reed has been the lone bat to get out to a slower start.
So we're going to go wild pitch on that one as O'Donovan had to come out of his stance, reach in an unnatural position up above his head, behind the batter's head. And just couldn't get a glove on it. We're not going to fault the catcher there. So that's going to go wild pitch charge to Collazo. But as you said, runs charged to
Baylor
Cumby. Oh.
3-1. Misses the zone. Reed aboard for the first time since the first when he reached on a fielder's choice. Free pass with 2 away brings Peter DiMaria to the plate for the second time in as many innings. So it is a leadoff solo home run an inning ago. And it is the middle part of now 3 consecutive innings with runs across. DiMaria sends this one out to right center field. Atkins with a beat on it. Makes the grab just in front of the warning track for out number 3. Runner left on, but 2 more runs across. And that pushes the lead for Tufts up to 8-3. We'll step aside and come back with the bottom of the 6th. Lynchburg looking to respond, and we'll send 8-9-1 to the plate.
The biggest thing that I've taken from Westover is probably my interactions with faculty. I started working with Dr. Fryer. He's always available for help, and he makes sure that I get to do the experiments and not just be there while he does them. I didn't want to limit myself when I came here to just taking the prereqs for med school. I wanted to get a full, well-rounded education, and I definitely found that in the Westover program. It's given me the opportunity to keep playing soccer at a competitive level, but also it's given me the ability to be a student and to pursue other activities such as EMS. 100% do Westover because it's not something they're going to regret, and it's going to be a lot of work, but so is everything else. It's just going to help build their education that they've already had and make them a better person for it.
Call to the bullpen for the Jumbos. Justin Wells answers the call. Left-handed arm comes out from the pen and takes over for Cameron Meyer. Righty in line for the win. Ends his day after 5 innings tossed. Gave up 7 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks with 7 strikeouts. Wells stands at 5'10", left-handed arm from Massachusetts. And today will mark his 4th appearance of the season.
So, yeah, Meyer did get a little beat up by knees, but you're not going to blame too many people for that. I think he looked real dominant out on the mound, especially the way that he started the day with those 2 strikeouts. He really just had his way with the top of the order, getting 6 of his strikeouts from the top 3 batters. But now we'll get to see Wells from Stoughton, Massachusetts. Played his previous ball at Boston College, high school.
Led me on there.
Did you get nervous?
First pitch comes too far inside and plunks Jorman. And you look at this inning that Wells is being called on and the 3 that he'll face. Jorman, lefty. Now he'll see Carson Atkins. And that's followed up with another left-handed bat in Cam Lane. So it felt like a nice spot to call on Wells and have him take on 2 left-handed bats and a predominantly right-handed heavy Lynchburg order. But now with Jorman aboard, some of that advantage is negated. Throw over, Jorman back in time. So 4th appearance of the season for Wells. Has not issued a run. He's tossed 5 1/3 so far this year. 3 strikeouts to 2 walks. Most recent appearance was 2 scoreless innings at Averett on March 22nd Did not have a strikeout in that appearance. Did give up a walk. Did not surrender a hit, though.
This is Atkins' spot here. See if he can turn the lineup over and give the top of the order a new look. You know, obviously, as we mentioned, 6 strikeouts from those top 3 batters. They're probably pretty excited Mayors out of the game here. Get them a fresh look and the first look here at Wells. I also think it's kind of important. You want to talk about getting your timing down if you're Avery Neves. He's able to do that quickly. But it's pretty nice for the top of the order here that they get to see a couple at-bats before they have to face Wells. They can time him up there on the on-deck circle.
2-1, high and tight, 3 balls and a strike. Well, we were just talking about how Tufts has used that 8-9 point in the lineup card. They've been able to get on, and that's set up RBI chance for the top of the order. Lynchburg with a chance to emulate that here. And they will get that opportunity. 5-pitch walk, moves Jorman up to second. Atkins aboard at first, and after getting called out of the bullpen, Justin Wells starts his day with a hit batter and a base on balls. Not necessarily the start that a pitcher is looking for. Now he'll go toe-to-toe with the top of the order. Lane 1 for 3 this afternoon. The single was in the second. But other than the base knock, it's a pair of strikeouts coming in the first and the fourth.
Outfield's playing Lane very straight up. Ooh, breaking ball coming out of the hand of Wells. That one jumped out of the hand. It's easy to pick up and just lay off of it for Lane. That caught the attention of the pitching coach for Tufts as that curveball misses poorly with already 2 batters aboard on the base on balls.
So a trip out to the mound. Chance to try to settle down Wells. And it's one of those spots where Tufts probably is aware of what happened on Tuesday. Understand, let's maybe not keep this door ajar. Let's put a 0 next to this board. Or put next to the Lynchburg line, I should say. So a quick trip, meeting adjourned. And Lane will step back into the box.
Yeah, but the whole time for Sfagdis looking over his shoulder into the bullpen. Maybe just a little stall tactic there to get a new wing fresh out of the arm barn.
1-0 finds the outside corner. The meeting pays dividends, evens the count at 1-1.
Took the words right out of my mouth, DJ.
Pays dividends?
Not exactly. I guess I was going to say relatively the same thing.
Lane sends this one back to the screen. Now pitchers count 1-2, and what a strikeout here would do for Wells. It'd be a huge step in the right direction to try to put that 0 next to the Lynchburg line. Hornets with 2 across in the bottom of the first, then 1 more. Last inning, it was a solo home run from Avery Neves. This becomes a spot where give up 2 to the Jumbos, the top half of the 6th. Running out of outs. I feel like Lynchburg has got to have an answer. Curveball, sliced foul.
So 2 strikeouts on the day for Lane. He also has the single, stole a base, but some real tough at-bats here. You know, he's not afraid. He's not shying away here with the 2 strikes. Choking up a little bit more on the bat, but something you see all of these Lynchburg hitters do. Let's see if he can work his way out of this pitcher's count. Wells is ahead of him here.
Southpaw to the plate. Fastball on the outside corner, and a delayed strike 3 called, but Lane down on strikes for the 3rd time this afternoon. If you're a Lynchburg fan, probably not something you would envisioned me saying today. But Lane back to the dugout. He's out number 1 to the bottom of the 6th. Logan Webster also had a hard time so far this afternoon at the plate. 0 for 3, 3 strikeouts.
Yeah, and that's the first time Lane has struck out 3 times in a game since the beginning of the year against Trinity. But he also did have a hit with 2 RBIs in that game. That's a tough at-bat, though, for Lane with the lefty on the mound. See if the platoon advantage here works out to change the fate of Logan Webster so far, and it does.
Through to center field. Rounding third, Jorman will score on the play, and Atkins moves all the way up to third. RBI base knock. First hit of the day for Webster, and it makes it 8-4. Well, and talking about your point there, Tim, it's so hard for Lane, especially when you take into account where Wells is throwing the pitch from. It's very three-quarter, borderline sidearm, so it is so hard for a lefty against that fastball, or even a curveball if it's thrown well, just pick it up early enough. But here, coming out of the hand of Wells, Webster's got all day to see it, and you can see comfortable, sends it right back up the middle and gets the RBI for his efforts. So runners to the corners, one away, Garrett Jackson. Going to keep momentum on Lynchburg's side. Takes this one right down Broadway. Trails on the count 0-1.
Something I'm interested to see is if we're going to test the left-handed pitcher here with second base open and a speedy Webster on first base. He stole a bag in the 9th inning against Averett while Lynchburg was trying to come back. But he was unable to come around to score in that comeback chance. However, Webster can steal a bag, but it's just with the lefty there staring you down at first base, it's a little hard to get the right jump. You kind of almost have to go on first movement.
It's certainly an all-or-nothing proposition. Webster has a sizable lead. Wells comes to the plate, gets the ground ball he's looking for. Fleischer takes to the bag himself. The throw to first in time, 6-3 double play, and that is a killer for the Hornets. 8-4 your score. We've made it through 6. Stepping aside, coming back with the top of the 7 from Fox Field.
Look what you're missing.
It really don't matter to me, I'm just happy to be here, I might go crazy.
Pitching change for Lynchburg. Also a change in the field as Holden Fiedler is the new battery mate as Joe Hurwitz comes out of the pen and becomes the 4th arm to be used today by Lynchburg. First pitch of the afternoon. This is down in the dirt.
Yeah, in the first pitch of the afternoon tests, Holden Fiedler. Thought he might be getting the day off, but it's never really an option for Fiedler. It's nice to have Riley O'Donovan around, I'm sure, though, if you're Fiedler, because he used to be catching double headers every weekend. He's a tough kid, though. I was talking to him in my office the other day, and he doesn't mind as long as he's out there helping the team win. Whatever it takes.
And it's Kyle Cortez at the plate. Second baseman 0 for 3, did reach on an error in the 4th. That's the lone time he's been able to see the base paths this afternoon. Turns on the 2-0, lines at foul. And you saw that toughness on display against Randolph-Macon late in that game for Fiedler. A number of pitches going off the hand, off the shoulder, finding the face mask, and toughed it out, stayed in the game. And, yeah, there's not much you could tell me or ask me, convince me to make me want to be a catcher, especially at this level of baseball. There's just no shot.
We had a real good catcher when I played high school ball, Stephen Holko, and he would just be tired sometimes catching so many bullpens in practice. I'm like, oh, Stephen, I'll take a little bit off for you. I'll catch a bullpen for you. First one, jams my thumb, take all the gear off, glove off, done. I'm like, Stephen, you get back there. I don't know how you do it. Real impressive stuff.
2-2, sent foul. Well, even if you want to go up and beyond the high school level, like Joe Maurer and Buster Posey, you just wonder how do these guys continue to put together the offensive production they did in their prime while catching 95, pitch in and pitch out. Remarkable. And then also being expected to block it up if it's down in the dirt. Hurwitz leaves this one high and outside. Full count to Cortez, who will be followed up by really good catcher in his own right. Today is the DH and Clay Sowell. Then it's the third baseman, Connor Podeswa. Payoff pitch off the outside corner, and Cortez aboard via the base on balls.
Really like the energy from this Tufts team. I saw Mayer come off the mound a couple of times, real emphatically cheering to the crowd after the double play. Di Maria stayed out there after catching the double play ball and just looked down the shortstop and said, let's go. And then taking that walk there, it's just the little things. But Cortez, he's hyped up after drawing the base on balls, looks over to his dugout, and he's getting excited after the leadoff walk.
Sowell finds left center field. Atkins over. And it'll hold as a single for Sowell. And moving up to third is Cortez. Runners at the corners, no outs. And to finish that point for you, Tim, we've talked a lot about this team starting the year on the road. Yes, that is obviously really a different look for a schedule. And they're 9-0. That's really impressive. But because of that, you can get a sense that this team is used to generating their own energy. When you're playing at home, you have the crowd, you have your fans, you have your family, your loved ones, whoever it is, to pump you up. This team has had to do it by themselves for now 10 games.
No, that's an excellent point, TJ. Just manufacturing your own excitement and energy when you've been on the road for so long, and maybe you don't want to get hyped up after a double or a walk. But look at what it does. Cortez walks, looks over, cheers on his dugout, and next thing you know, he's standing on third base after a single. So, I mean, manufacturing your own energy is probably pretty important, and I'm sure something that this team has to focus on if they're going to continue their season the way that it's starting so far.
And it helps in tandem, but also makes the job of Coach Vagdas a lot easier, knowing that this team has that type of mindset, but also speaks to the culture that Coach Vagdas is trying to build and continue with this Tufts program. So works in both ways, and a ton of credit to the Jumbos. They're coming out and up by 4 against the number 4 team in the country playing at home. I mean, that's a statement if I've seen one. And they're not done yet. Runners at the corners, no doubt. 1-1, Podeswa couldn't help but chase, throw up the first base line. Close play, but Sal slides back safely.
No, that would have been huge, wouldn't it? Getting almost a free out to try to get yourself out of the inning here as Hurwitz stares down the 1-2 count with nobody out, runners at the corners. Still a big lead over there at first, though, from Sowell.
And Sowell will take off. No throw to second. And now a fun opportunity to compare and contrast the bottom of the 6th with the top of the 7th, because you were noting Logan Webster has speed and he can take off. Ultimately, he doesn't go in motion. That leads to the 6-3 double play. Double play taken off the table here for the Jumbos. The 2-2. Breaking ball in for strike 3. A little bit of confusion as Podeswa didn't see the home plate umpire ring him up, and now trots back to the first base dugout representing out number 1 and punch out number 1 today for Joe Horwitz.
Was that a case of Podeswa not knowing the count or not believing the call. That looked a little bit more like he didn't know the count. But that was also kind of a low strike call to get punched out on.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I have no answer for you. First pitch breaking ball in for a strike to Jackson Duffy. So the count starts at 0-1. You should go ask him.
Right now?
Yeah.
Nah.
Hurwitz looking to pitch through the jam. 2 runners on in scoring position. 0-1. Comes too far inside. Nearly hit Duffy instead. Count 1-1. 5th appearance of the season for Hurwitz. ERA at 10.8. 2-0 record. 3 1/3 tossed. 2 strikeouts to 5 walks. Opponent's only hitting .231 again. So focus here for Hurwitz. Find the strike zone. Live there regularly. Another curveball. Skied. Up the first base line and out of play.
Yeah, Hurwitz was the benefactor of the 9th inning comeback from the Hornets. He was on the mound in the 9th as the Hornets trailed by 5. But he's the pitcher of record, so after the late game heroics from not only Avery Neese but the entire team, Hurwitz will tally another win onto his career mark. He's 2-0 on the year.
Here the righty looking for a second straight punch out. Fastball. Just misses the outside corner. Might have been elevated a little too much as well. 2-2 the count now to Duffy. Tufts left fielder looking for his first hit today. 0 for 1 officially. Been hit by a pitch and drawn a walk. And as strange this may be to say, the 8-9 part of the order has caused a lot of headaches for Lynchburg, just as the 1-2 part of the Jumbo's order. And Duffy a pitch away from reaching for a 3rd time. Full count. Hurwitz has the signs. Payoff pitch. Curveball up and inside. Second walk of the inning issued by the righty reliever. The bases are loaded.
Fiedler's going to go out and talk to Hurwitz about this one. He might be telling him something along the lines of, that's not the worst miss. First base was open. At the bottom of the lineup here now with Bowman. As we have seen, though, he's stung a single. And he's been hit by a pitch, so it's no slight there against Bowman. He's batting down here at the bottom of the lineup. But you just got to dial yourself in, see if you can get an out, and face Fleischer with 2 down with a chance to end the inning and get out of the jam.
We look at the 9-hole hitters for both sides. Bowman came in the day hitting .300. Carson Atkins hitting .293. Earlier in this game, we talked about how baseball's moved into putting your best hitter in the 2 spot. In a lot of ways, the 9-hole is not what it once was 15, 20 years ago, where you would put your guy who maybe has the lowest batting average or you have the least amount of confidence in that 9 spot. Now that's more of the 8 role, and you're using this 9-hole hitter as the secondary leadoff guy, keep the lineup card churning over. And that's exactly what Bowman's done. Reached twice. He's 1 for 2 officially. And he could come through here in a big bases-loaded spot. 1-0, caught on and missed, even the count of 1.
Yeah, and on a baseball roster with 50 dudes on it, someone's got to bat 9th. Looking at both of these lineups, you could probably fit everyone in the top 3 of the order. There's just, you got to fill it out somehow, and Bowman ends up here at the bottom of the lineup.
1-1, just off the outside corner, 2 balls and a strike. It's a Tufts team that came in the day hitting .336. That's 4th in their conference. .441 on-base percentage, good for 3rd best in NESCAC. And then 2nd in slugging percentage at .499. Say this team knows how to swing it. 2-1, breaking pitch. Called strike 2 on the outside corner. Hurwitz looking for a big second out. Goes back to the breaking ball. Nearly found the same spot. Instead, ruled the ball. Count runs full.
Here's the breaking point of the inning. It may be obvious, but this might be the breaking point of the entire game. If you can get Bowman out here, if you're Hurwitz, you're in a good spot. You walk in a run, different story.
Payoff pitch. Slow ground ball, left side. Collins with only one play. It's at first. The throw is in time. It's an RBI ground out as Cortez touches home plate, and Tufts pushes the lead to 9-4. Also advancing on the plate, Sal now up to third, and behind him is Jackson Duffy at second. So two runners on in scoring position opportunity for Ozzie Fleischer. Shortstop's gone 2 for 3. An RBI double in the fourth. Pitch down in the dirt. Got away from Fiedler. Shovel toss towards home plate. Not in time. And the wild pitch makes it 10-4 Jumbos. And how about the catcher slash DH up the third baseline, reading dirt ball and not letting the opportunity squander.
Yeah, that one wasn't automatic for Sowell to come home on. He made a good read on it, and Hurwitz was almost there to lay the tag down. And making a big turnaround third base was Duffy. He thought about maybe he's got a chance because that throw got away from Hurwitz as well.
Runs across in 5 of the 7 chances at the plate for Tufts, including 9 of the last 4, and that's still ongoing. Fastball in for a called strike.
Yeah, so we've seen that call. It's time to start adjusting. If you're the hitters up there, you may not agree with it, but home plate umpire has been pretty consistent with that low strike, grazing the bottom of the zone on its way down to the dirt.
Hurwitz leaves this one down below the knees, 2-1. The double earlier from Fleischer, his 6th RBI of the season. He can pick up number 7 now, with Duffy standing at third. 2-1, breaking ball. Fleischer has to duck out of the way. Count inflates to 3-1.
If you give me a moment, though, to backtrack to Collins' play there on Bowman's ground out, he fielded that like a third baseman on a slow roller, but it was a high chopper to shortstop, and he made a good play, fielded it on the side of his body, and makes a strong throw to first.
3-1, Sky Fallon, you're exactly right. Fielded off that left foot. Really did look like a third baseman type of play.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it until you're trying to reanalyze it in my head. Good call out there.
Yeah, I mean, you look at all 4 of these infielders out there for Lynchburg. There's not a position next to their name. It all says INF, infield. These are guys who can play it all over the diamond.
Hurwitz misses the zone. Issues his 3rd walk of the inning, and Fleischer aboard safely at first. Jimmy Evans has been swinging it well this afternoon. 2 for 4 all told. Had a 2 RBI single in the 4th last time up. Grounded into a 3-6-1 double play.
Conventional 3-6-1.
You see it every day.
Yeah. What area code is that? 361.
Let's find out. Corpus Christi, Texas.
Would you look at that?
That makes me think of Texas Tech at Corpus Christi. Trying to remember their mascot off the top of my head. Evans, good contact, fair up the right field line. Roll all the way to the wall. 1 run already scored, rounding third. And scoring all the way from first to the shortstop, Ozzie Fleischer. 2 out, 2 RBI, double Jimmy Evans. Makes it a 4-run top of the 7th. It makes it 12-4. Jumbos out in front of the Hornets.
So Fleischer scoring from first base. He's from Texas. Not from the 361 area code, though.
It's the Islanders. That's the mascot I was thinking of. I remembered it being something different, but that's okay. As Associate Head Coach Travis Beasley is going to make a pitching change for Lynchburg. We will step aside and come back and tell you about the new arm for the Hornets. Lynchburg looking to stop the bleeding, down 12-4.
I was looking for a school that could provide me with the athletics, academics to pursue my career, a wind symphony to pursue my passion for music, and really have a nice general atmosphere. The professors here are really unique, their background and their passion for teaching. It's really a place where you can explore. Lynchburg gives you the opportunity to fail, but also get back up in that period of time and learn from your mistakes. I can make these mistakes within the school environment, but also with the support of other friends, and be ready for the real world when you graduate.
Look what you're missing.
It really don't matter to me, I'm just happy to be here, I might go crazy.
Brandon Hoodling comes out of the pen for Lynchburg and becomes fifth arm to be used today for the Hornets. First pitch breaking ball in for a called strike to Miles Reed, who's 0 for 3 today. Did draw a walk his last time up, first time he reached the base paths. And Reed comes to plate with an RBI opportunity. 2 down, standing at second is Jimmy Evans after his 2 RBI double. Made it 12-4 Tufts in front of Lynchburg.
How about that for Hoodling? His first pitch in over a month goes in for strike 1. Hasn't pitched since February 19th against number 9 Washington. Hornets ended up getting the win 9-5.
In that appearance, Hoodling surrenders a couple of earned runs and unable to record an out, so his ERA technically at infinity. Can change that. He's able to retire Reed and find the final out to the top of the 7th, which the Jumbos have pushed 4 across in this inning, matching the most they put up in a single inning so far this afternoon, and it matches the entirety what we've seen from Lynchburg this afternoon.
Yeah, a lot of crooked numbers up there in the box score for the Jumbos.
Reed behind on the fastball. Counts 2-2.
So Lynchburg's number 4 team in the country. Did you see Marietta yesterday, TJ?
I did not.
Number 1 team in the country. They beat La Roche 31-6. 2 innings. They scored.
That is
11.
a football score.
Scored 11 innings in 2 separate innings. 11 runs in 2 separate innings.
Wow.
So
Marietta's feeling pretty good today.
the Express is rolling.
2-2 breaking ball off the outside corner. Full count. The line not final for Hurwitz as he's responsible for the runner on at second, but as it stands right now, 2/3 of an inning worth of work. 2 hits, 4 earned runs, 3 walks, 1 strikeout. Payoff pitch. Slow roller up the first base line. Hoodling fields, underhand toss to first, and retires the 8th hitter of the inning in the form of Miles Reed. 4 come across for the Jumbos to make it 12-4. Tufts out in front of Lynchburg as we head to the bottom of the 7th. Avery Neves, PJ Alvanos, Gavin Collins scheduled to the plate. That's the 4, 5, 6 portion of the Lynchburg order. 4 runs across for Tufts. In the top half of the 7th, Justin Wells stays out onto the mound.
It feels like ages ago, Neves was getting the Hornets back into the game with that long home run to left field, but that was a couple of runs ago, and Lynchburg now finds himself down by 8.
All told, Neves 1 for 2 this afternoon. Sends this one out towards right field, ranging over the line. Jimmy Evans not be able to make the grab, and it's fair up the right field line. Neves rounding second, throw to third, not in time. And Avery Neves, his second hit of the day. He's got the home run and the triple. Many would say the hardest legs of a cycle. See how many more times we see Neves come to the dish. It would be hard to attain that cycle status, but this is a welcome start to the bottom of the 7th for Lynchburg.
I mean, another reason why it might be hard for Neves to get the cycle if he does come up 2 more times, why would you throw this guy another strike? Like, honestly, he tags you with a home run and a triple, and I think Tufts might be done pitching to Neves. There's that breaking ball. You mentioned it during his warm-up tosses from Wells. That breaking ball's nasty.
A lot of wicked bite on it, and left-on-left scenarios. I do not envy PJ Alvanos to follow with the fastball tailing away from you to make the count 0-2. Alvanos 1 for 2 today. His single came in the 3rd, also drawn a walk. Now he's got a battle against Justin Wells.
Anything in play here from PJ?
Breaking ball, misses outside.
You saw a little relief coming out of the shoulders of PJ there after he spits on that 0-2 curveball, but it does not ring him up. Good eye there from the senior.
Back to the fastball, and Wells finds the outside corner. Alvanos down on strikes for the 2nd consecutive AB. Second punch out for Wells, and it's the first out to the home half of the 7th. Gavin Collins, a chance to pick up his 3rd ribby on the afternoon. First pitch to Collins, well off the inside corner. Count starts at 1-0.
Yeah, and after making the change down the lineup a little bit from Collins, he's only had 1 hitless game. So it looks like the coaching maneuver has been successful.
And some of it has to be the optics. Pitchers are going to throw more fastballs to a 6-hole hitter versus a 3. So more fastballs, better counts, better situations for Collins to work with. And, hey, it paid dividends, 2 RBIs back in the 1st.
No, yeah, it's never been a matter of talent with Collins. Just a little bit of the confidence there.
Here Collins trails in the count, 1-2. Wells can make consecutive Ks. Well, Collins 2 for 3 already. We'll have to battle to try to find his 3rd hit of the game. Instead, fastball, outside corner, and a called strike 3. Back-to-back backwards Ks for Justin Wells.
Now at bat, number 23, Holden Fiedler.
First time seeing Holden Fiedler step to the plate. He will be hitting in the place of Riley O'Donovan. We saw Fiedler come on as a defensive sub. Top half this inning, O'Donovan State ends at 0 for 3 with 3 groundouts. First pitch down the heart of the plate for strike 1.
And how about Fiedler last week? He goes 2 for 4 against Greensboro, 3 for 5 against W&L. Follows that up with a little 1 for 1 after coming out in relief behind the plate.
Fiedler sends this one to Cortez at 2nd, makes the throw to 1st, and after the leadoff triple, Lynchburg puts a 0 on the board as Neves does not advance any further. Alvanos and Collins go down on strikes. Fiedler grounds out to 2nd. We're through 7, head of the 8th. Lynchburg trails Tufts 12-4.
what you're missing.
It really don't matter to me, I'm just happy to be here, I might go crazy.
Top of the 8th inning. Tufts with a chance to make it runs across in 5 consecutive frames. Brendan Hoodling out for a full inning of action. We'll go toe-to-toe with 4, 5, 6 in the Jumbo's order. That's Peter DiMaria, Kyle Cortez, and Clay Sowell. First pitch swinging, DiMaria skies the curveball into the Lynchburg sky. Will stay in the infield. Alvanos underneath it. Makes a grab for out number 1. So Kyle Cortez back to the plate. Hitless so far. 0 for 3 to draw a walk as a leadoff man last inning to start the 4-run top of the 7th.
All right, it's time to bring up Kyle Cortez's dream job.
I got to hear this.
It's actually a pretty good one. 3rd string QB. I don't disagree too much on him. That would be one of the best jobs out there.
Get the paycheck, the notoriety, without all the hits.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a.
You're not even dressing most of the time.
Got the best seat in the house, watching from the stand. You might be onto something. Let's talk to my agent about that. I might have to go to a career change here.
What's your agent's name? Sam Rice?
That's exactly right. The
Sam
man that makes all of it happen. 1-1 cut on a miss to make it 1-2. That's a stance out of the playbook of Blue Mountain State.
Oh.
1-2. Hit a ton out towards right field. Lane to the wall. Watches it sail foul.
One of my favorite verbs in baseball is poked. You know, he pokes one to the right side. Oh, he pokes one up the middle.
Sure.
He almost poked that one for a homer. He really didn't put too much into that effort. You know, low effort swing, just makes solid contact. Such a strong kid that he almost muscles that one over the right field fence.
A muscly poke called a jab, maybe. Out
yeah,
towards right.
it's quick. It's little. You know, it's not usually a verb you hear associated with a home run, but
Sure. 1-2, missed the zone, counts a 2-2. Cortez really able to find that run across in the 5th consecutive inning. And the long ball would have been his 4th in the year. Cortez leads the way for the Jumbos in that department with 3 so far this year.
yeah. And the grad student here, he missed all of 2019-20 as that season was canceled for COVID-19 for Tufts, but no, he's a 281 hitter in his career. Slugs 600 in his 3rd season here total.
Another foul ball coming off Cortez's bat. This one doesn't travel quite as far. We'll do it again at 3-2.
So you see them going to chase after some foul balls here. You see Garrett Appleton there, a freshman on the team, going to get that foul ball. Also have to go get the home run balls. I wonder if they were able to find Neves' home run to left field. Because that ball might not exist anymore. He demolished it.
I have a hard time thinking it's still on the planet Earth. It might be in orbit. That or, like you said, it just vaporized. I mean, that was a tattoo of a home run out towards left field. Compare that to the home run for Peter DiMaria. We've seen a ton of pop on display today. Another hot shot off the bat of Cortez. He's put up a good battle against Hoodling. Lynchburg plays to the pull side of Cortez, who sends this one to the screen. But after Cortez uncorks a couple up the right field line, you see some Hornets sliding over to their left, respecting the pull power that Tufts second baseman possesses. Another foul ball, and the battle continues. Wheeling comes set, another 3-2 and another ground ball.
So how about the performance here from Hoodling? We haven't seen much of him. We haven't seen him at home at all. You haven't seen him in over a month. But I think he's looked good attacking the zone here. He's gotten a couple of outs.
Well, that's what stood out in this at-bat. Give credit to Cortez fighting it off, but Hoodling is pounding the strike zone right now and looks to do the same, and does. Ground ball under the glove of Jorman and into right field. We called a base knock for Cortez.
So we're gonna rule that one an error there, as it was right in front of Jorman. You know, the rule book says within reasonable effort to make the play, and I think that one being hit right at Jorman, one hop him, it's right at his glove. I think that you're gonna have to fault the junior there. Kind of unfortunate there because it was scalded. You do kind of penalize Cortez for putting good contact on it, but that was going to go down as an error in the book.
Little Olay.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah.
Sometimes it'll creep up on you, those line drives. First pitch down and outside to Sowell. A DH, 1 for 4. Got his first hit his last time up.
It's the difficult life of a scorekeeper, though, the official statistician.
No matter what, you're making somebody upset.
You're making somebody upset. Yep.
Third error today. That'll make plenty of Hornets fans upset. 33rd of the season. This is a really well-rounded defensive team for Lynchburg today. Just had some complications, and it doesn't help. 2 errors across, and that big top of the 4th for Tufts.
Yeah, and it's been on display for Lynchburg. It's not like we've seen them kicking the ball over the infield. How about Gavin Collins? That's a play that you and I both, rewinded a little bit to compliment. You got one of the best center fielders in the conference there, and Carson Atkins, who can go foul line to foul line seemingly from the middle of the outfield. Holden Fiedler, just a spectacular catcher. It's just some of these errors just compile at the wrong times for Lynchburg, and you get those big crooked numbers up on the board.
Healthy lead off at first for Cortez. The 2-1. Finds the outside corner. Throw up the first base line, blocked up by Jorman. So a 2-2 count. The Jumbo's DH. Hit over 400 a season ago. So far this year, it's a 286 average for the preseason All-American. Hoodling goes breaking ball and evades the bat of Sowell. First strikeout of the day for Hoodling, and a big second out to the top of the 8th.
Now at bat, number 31, Connor Poteswa.
So Lynchburg hung 4 runs on a really spectacular pitching staff here from Tufts, who's near the top of the conference in a lot of pitching categories. And we're seeing Hoodling, settling down here in his first action in over a month.
Breaking ball, outside corner, and to your point, Tim, you look at Lynchburg and first Yodak and ERA, strikeout to walk ratio, strikeouts per 9, whip, walks per 9. That's all great. The same exact stuff can be said about Tufts. First in their respective conference in walks per 9, strikeouts per 9, they're top 6 in the conference. First in ERA, below 3, and first in strikeout to walk ratio. So as much as Lynchburg has an awesome staff, they've been hit around a little bit more than usual today, and Tufts has been there, and they've been stellar. And that's been, honestly, the trend throughout the early goings so far this year for Tufts, on top of an offense averaging more than 10 runs a game. That'll win you a lot of baseball games.
Yeah.
And talking about Lynchburg, only 4 runs on the board to this point in the contest. That would mark the fewest in a game since their 1-0 loss on the 8th of this month at Averett. 2-1. Sent Fallon up and over first base dugout. Podeswa 1 for 4 today.
Yeah, so Tufts, it looks like this is just an annual tradition for the team from Massachusetts to come down to the Virginia area and play a big amount of road games to begin this season. But you look back at last season as they only played a conference schedule. How about playing Colby 8 times in a row to begin the season? I think they got sick of seeing that squad.
Wow.
And they only dropped 2 of those games against Colby to begin the year last season.
Certainly became familiar with one another.
Yeah.
2s across the scoreboard. Up and over the head of Jorman and fair up the right field line. Cortez will hold at third. And a 2-out single for Podeswa, his second hit of the afternoon, puts runners at the corners. 2 down, Jackson Duffy looking to push out the lead beyond 8 for Tufts.
Now at bat, number 27, Jackson Duffy.
Some updates from around Lynchburg sports. Both the men's and women's tennis team with a 9-0 victory over Mary Baldwin.
Hornets take down the Squirrels.
And also some track and field action on campus today for Lynchburg.
Day 1 of the Dr. Jack M. Toms Alumni Invitational. Excited to broadcast that all day tomorrow. Curveball, cut on and missed. Duffy, even count at 1-1. That track meet will get underway with the stream tomorrow at 9 o'clock, and we'll run through about 5:30, 6 o'clock. Pitch down in the dirt, gets away from Fiedler. The wild pitch scores 1. Big turnaround second, but Podeswa will hold there. Two and 1 the count now to Duffy. 0 for 1 to this point in the game. Been hit by a pitch and drawn 2 walks. Fastball finds the outside corner, and the count is even at 2. Wild pitch does make it runs across in 5 consecutive chances at the plate. Tufts scored in 6 of their 8 opportunities swinging the bat. That type of consistency will go a long way. Popped up the first base line in foul territory. Fiedler makes the grab for out number 3. A runner left on in scoring position, but another run across through the wild pitch. Tufts out in front of Lynchburg, 13-4. So we head to the bottom of the 8th. Josh Dorman to lead things off for Lynchburg. Will be followed by Carson Atkins, then the top of the order with Cam Lane. A defensive change to catch you up on for Tufts. Over at first base, Connor Flavin takes over for Peter DeMaria. First pitch to Jorman. This is inside from Justin Wells. Out for a third inning of work. Wells bounces back. 1-0 in for a cold strike. Wells gave up a leadoff triple to Avery Neves last inning, then settled down with back-to-back backwards Ks against Alvanos and Collins, then retired Fiedler on the 4-3 ground ball.
Connor Flavin also went to Boston College High School.
It's just remarkable to me. How can you put college in a high school name?
Yeah, it must. He says come back. Umpire says come back.
They're going to say that Jorman extended the elbow, and he's making his way back up to the plate.
Yeah, now there's going to be a conference at it. If we're going to take another look at this one, we'll be able to identify it for you.
And we'll take another look.
They're going to call him out for that. It just tallied as a strike. When you
Now at bat, number 12, Carson Atkins.
it goes down as a strike. As strikes, yeah.
So that becomes the fourth strikeout of the day for Justin Wells. And Carson Atkins steps to the plate, takes the first pitch he sees high and outside. Atkins 0 for 1, but hit by a pitch and also drawn a walk. So a tough break there to start the home half of the eighth for Lynchburg. Jorman officially goes down as a strikeout victim. Wells misses up above the letters, 2-0 now. And assuming the score holds, this would mark the first time Lynchburg has lost at home this year. Still some baseball left to be played. 5 outs to spare for the Hornets. Trailing by 9. The hands against the Jumbos. 2-0 in for a called strike.
Yeah, but what about that just complete 180? German's like, I got on base. On base for the third time. Oh, actually, nope, you're out. Strike 3.
Sent to right field. Back is Evans. Catch is made for out number 2.
It's something you may not notice here in the 8th inning with the team down by 9 runs, but I like to see Carson Atkins going hard out of the box on a fly ball to right field. With his speed, if that ball gets misplayed in right field, maybe in a closer game, as we have a pinch hitter here, that could be an inside the park home run for Carson.
So it's Ethan Morotsky stepping to the plate for Cam Lane. Lane ends his day offensively 1 for 4. A single and a stolen base. Morotsky get his first look at the dish this afternoon. Sophomore, the 160 average so far this season.
So Morotsky's a fun player, utility player out in the outfield who can be brought in not only for a defensive specialist, but also he can be a pinch hitter for you and a pinch runner. So a lot of talent here, a lot of versatility here for Morotsky. It's nice when you not only have a guy who can go out there and be a defensive replacement, but can also give you some competitive at-bats as a pinch hitter.
Two-0 count now for Morotsky. Should be noted, Wells now through 2 2/3. This marks the longest outing of his season. How about this? We've talked about some of the pregame superstitions for Tufts players. 2 pieces of spearmint icebreaker scum. The brand, the quantity, it is precise for Wells, and he's looked really good today, so I'd say keep at it.
Is he chewing some right now, though? That's what I'm trying to identify. It doesn't look like it.
Instead, Wells eyes the strike zone, leaves it just off the outside corner, and the count swells to 3-1.
I was never one who could chew gum while playing baseball, but
Can you chew gum and walk?
yeah.
Okay. Just didn't know where the bar was set.
It's just distracting, so I like to blow big bubbles.
Tim LaDuca, ladies and gentlemen, man of simple pleasures. It's 3-2 now to Morotsky.
Here's the weird thing, though. Big sunflower seeds guy. It's probably more work than chewing gum.
Yeah, I think you're the only baseball player that likes chewing sunflower seeds.
That's
sarcasm.
A joke. It's a joke, ain't it?
That
Yeah.
was sarcasm. Morotsky sends this one to right field. A couple steps over, and Evans makes the grab to complete a 1-2-3 bottom of the 8th toss by Justin Wells, who's now thrown 3 scoreless innings for the Jumbos. We'll step aside and come back with the top of the 9th. Tufts out in front, 13-4.
Here's to life and here's to Lynchburg, to the years we spent together. I don't know when or how we gathered, but I know I'm home. So here's to love and here's to the heartache, all the laughter, every mistake. I don't know how our lives will be changed, but here I am home. Here I'm home.
Connor Bowman to lead things off in the top of the 9th inning. He'll be followed by Ozzie Fleischer, Jimmy Evans. At least those are the 3 scheduled to plate. That's Lynchburg. Calls to the bullpen once more. 6th arm to be used today is Andrew Galladay. First pitch swinging. Line drive to center. Over is Atkins, and Bowman set down for out number 1.
So I really got a lot of content out of the baseball team coming to help out at the beach volleyball court construction, but I would say Galladay gets the MVP of that construction site. He was great. He was very helpful, very handy with a hammer, nail. He was able to. He seemed very comfortable in that environment.
2 pitches and 2 outs to start the day for Galladay. That brings Jimmy Evans back to the plate. This becomes the first appearance of the season for Galladay. Galladay tossed 2/3 of an inning in 2 appearances a season ago. Which will have a pinch hitter to the plate for Tufts. This is John Fritz, sophomore outfielder from Massachusetts. Hornets play straight away defensively. Galladay goes to the breaking pitch, pulls the string on Fritz, and leads the count 0-2.
He's doubled his pitch count here in this at bat.
4 pitches, 4 strikes. You do that, you get some more appearances down the line. 0-2, rolled over and sent to third. Jackson fields the throw across the infield in time for out number 3. Andrew Galladay comes out of the pen and tosses a 1-2-3. Top of the ninth to keep it at 13-4. We'll step aside and come back for the home half of the inning. Lynchburg looking to keep our hopes alive. Need a big comeback down to their final 3 outs.
Look what you're missing.
New pitcher takes the mound for Tufts. Matt Donato answers the call from the bullpen, and that ends the day for Justin Wells after 3 innings worth of work. And Donato will start his day taking on a pinch hitter for Lynchburg, Eric Hyatt, catcher, third baseman, and freshman from the Commonwealth of Virginia. Get his first AB of the day, hitting the place of Logan Webster.
Yeah, the Lynchburg coaches are real high on Hyatt. The catcher, freshman coming in here. He's had some real good at bats in the inter squad. He put real good contact on the final out of the game against Averett, a loss and a 1-0 loss. He scalded one to the third baseman. Is inches away from being the game tying hit. Hyatt, he's a big kid coming in, and he's a little chance to collect career hit numero uno here. He is the brother of the graduate assistant coach for women's soccer team, Emma Hyatt. It's nice that Emma's here to see her brother get her an at bat here. She's at every game.
Wow, look at that. A couple of Hornets at heart. Hyatt versus Donato. This becomes the 3rd appearance of the season for the junior. Tossed through 2 innings, ERA at 13.5. 3 strikeouts, no walks. Opponents hitting .250 against Donato. First pitch, curveball, knee high, and a called strike 1. As you mentioned, Tim, Hyatt officially 0 for 2 to start his Lynchburg career. A mighty cut comes up empty, and the count moves to 0-2. After Hyatt is scheduled to be Garrett Jackson and Avery Neves. Jackson is the man in the on-deck circle, and Neves standing by in the dugout, so it looks like we will see those two. 0-2, down to the dirt. Lynchburg down to their final 3 outs and in jeopardy of falling short for the first time at home this season. Donato comes set. Foul ball, third base side. Do it again at a ball and 2 strikes.
A good little at bat here, good battle here from Hyatt. He's able to see that previous pitch into the dirt for ball 1 and then fighting that one off. See if he can get one to drive.
Another 1-2. Down and outside. And Hyatt works the count to an even stated 2-2.
Eric Hyatt in his first official plate appearance was hit by a pitch.
There you go. Good piece of trivia. Think Emma knows that?
What was that?
You think Emma Hyatt knows that?
I think so.
Okay. Well,
She's a good sister.
Full count. Payoff pitch from Donato. Hit, fair up the third base line, and Eric Hyatt has his first collegiate base knock. Wide turnaround first. Jackson Duffy has a hard time fielding out in the left. And standing safely at second base is Eric Hyatt.
Now at bat, number 21, Garrett Jackson.
Garrett Jackson now steps to the plate. And it appears it'll be a single followed by an E7 for those keeping track at home.
But-
Jackson, 1 for 4 today.
But good awareness there from the freshman, keeping the eyes out on the ball in the outfield. You know, your first career hit, you may be a little overexcited. You don't want to go give Coach Garcia a high five, but no, he kept his awareness with him, and he took an extra 90.
They make the hard turnaround first for a good reason. We get a base knock to the outfield. Pays dividends here. Now we got to make sure Hyatt got either the Sour Patch watermelon flavor from Coach Garcia or the Skittles, whatever Coach Garcia has given up the first base line this afternoon. It's a curveball. Drops in for a called strike 2.
Yeah, I mean, it's just unfortunate for Hyatt that he's behind two real solid catchers. You know, you see the veteran presence, just the great catching from Fiedler, and then, of course, there's the performance from O'Donovan here in his second year has been really impressive as well. So it's just maybe a little bit waiting game for Hyatt, but he's been doing all the right things in practice, and right there, he's rewarded with his first career hit.
1-2, golfed out towards left center field and down in front of Duffy. Hyatt rounds third and will score on the play. RBI base knock for Garrett Jackson makes it 13-5. Second hit of the afternoon for Jackson, his first ribby. That becomes RBI number 18 on the year for Garrett Jackson. Here it is one more time. Good piece of hitting. And a run's batted in for Jackson's effort. Neves back to the plate, takes the first pitch in for a strike.
I mean, you're not thinking what I'm thinking, are you?
We've seen this play out once. College baseball, anything's possible.
A lot of daylight left, so that's not going to be an issue.
Oh, 1 hit on the ground, left side, past Podeswa at third and into left field. 3 hitters have come to the plate. All have singles this inning for the Hornets. Can Alvenos keep the train on its tracks? 1 for 3 today for the second baseman, also drawn a walk.
Well, if the comeback does happen, it's going to require Neves to come up again. He's a double away from the cycle, so you never know.
That would certainly make for a heck of a story. Donato, been able to get out in front of hitters. Does so here against Alvenos to make it 0-1. Last 2 times up for P.J. Alvenos. Gone down on strikes. Once swinging, once looking. Oh, 1 trying to come back on the hands of Alvenos. Caught by Cortez, who tosses to second. 4-6 double play. Takes a runner off the base paths, and the first 2 outs put onto the scoreboard overlooking Fox Field. Here it is one more time. Bad luck there for Lynchburg. Not an overly hard hit line drive, but solid contact for where the pitch came in against Alvenos. And because it goes right to Cortez, it's a nice, easy play to be made at second, taking Neves off the base paths. First pitch, stopped me if you've heard it before. In for a strike, this time against Gavin Collins. Even count at 1-1. Collins, 2 for 4 showing this afternoon. And for a player that was hitting 186 before today, a 2 for 4 showing. Talked about since moving down in the 6th spot, only 1 hitless game. Things are starting to look up for Collins, and what that'll do for Lynchburg, adding another dangerous bat in the middle of the order. Collins sends it to third. Podeswa. Fields fires the throw to first in time for out number 3, and we have reached our final verdict. Tufts comes into Lynchburg, Virginia, and takes down the Hornets for the first time that Lynchburg has lost at home. Tufts comes out on top 13-5. And Tim, give us some final thoughts. This Tufts team, you come into this contest undefeated on the road. They're taking on a lot of ODAC opponents, but it feels like it's something different when you do it against Lynchburg, number 4 team in the country. And, hey, the Jumbos flexed their muscles today.
Yeah, it seemed to be a case of the unstoppable force versus an immovable object, and one of the good things had to come to an end. Undefeated season so far for Tufts continues. The home winning streak ends for Lynchburg, and you got to give them credit. I mean, this is something that this team knows is going to happen at the beginning of every year. It's a tradition for them to come and, play all these games at once, starting their season midway through March compared, a month after this Lynchburg team started. It's just another bump in the road for Lynchburg. Going to have to overcome this one and turn their sights on Eastern Mennonite tomorrow, a doubleheader, an important conference matchup for them. And they're going to have to shake this one off. They'll have Zach Potts on the mound and Nick Matfield, so things are looking up for Lynchburg. Just couldn't get it done today with the Bats.
And Lynchburg will look for their 5th weekend sweep tomorrow against EMU. That'll do it for us at Fox Field. For my broadcast partner, Tim LaDuca, my name's TJ Wingard. I'd like to give a shout-out to our director, Thomas Murphy, and the rest of our fantastic LHSN broadcast crew. Until next time, we are signing off.